Good evening, race fans. It's Twitch. It's Tuesday night. It is round number 3. It's Bathurst. That's right. It's the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Finals. As you can see, some unbelievable action from last week's 2 races at Imola, and it is Bathurst this evening. Absolutely cannot wait. We've got 7 rounds, 14 races, 5 guaranteed places in the final, and 3 of course in the playoff spots. My name John Wright, aka Double O Raven. I will be single-handedly taking you through everything this evening. The Wonder from Down Under has been struck down, unfortunately, so won't be joining us for this evening. So you'll just have to do with little old me, I'm afraid. And just trying to make things work. There we go. It's amazing how much you miss, Kay. Good luck with the broadcast. Been too long since I heard. Mike, how are you? My good man, it has been far too long. Right, I'm actually full fanboyed up now. Mike is the absolute platinum diamond standard of broadcasting. The things that man does with that setup of his, oh my goodness me, Mike. I can only... Why are the liveries not working? Now you've pointed it out, there's lots and lots that are not working that were working last week. That is somewhat bothersome. And I'm a bit starstruck now that Mike's here. So it would be when you were here this evening, Mike. How you doing though? But I've seen you've got a lot of cars throughout the competition. One of the cars I noticed even listed yourself as racing. Will you be getting behind the wheel? And how is broadcasting going at your end? Could I turn this in any longer of an interview? Let's look at the standings. Last week at the start of the race, I asked the question, would we likely see anyone with the, obviously with the way the competition works, the second race, it is the standings from race 1 with the top 10 are reversed. I did ask, would we likely see anyone get back-to-back victories with this format? Well, hold my beer, it said the Italian job. They blew more than the doors off. They got a double top spot on the podium. Not only that, Thomas Eng, back-to-back seconds, and VDES Racing back-to-back thirds. So not only did we see a team win both races in one round, 3 teams took exactly the same finishing positions in both races. I'm not 100% sure there's many bookies on the planet would have given you odds on that. 390 points is what Thomas Eng sees. They've seen all 3 spots on the podium in the race, in the competition so far. Gives them a 20-point lead over the Italian job, who have 14th place, round 1, race 2. Other than that, top spot on the podium, Rocket Sim Sport. I wonder if Mike might be cheering on. Good Luck Teams SR is looking after. Busy with recording at the moment, right, okay. Omar Moore, TYR, cheering on VDS in 4th, Team Ballas, Ukraine in 5th, Simply Race, there we go, in 7th position in the Huracan, the GT3 Evo, a popular car, still the Meta McLaren dominating the top 5 spots, as we can see. And still no liveries. I can only apologise. I have no idea why the liveries are not working this evening. But they definitely... we're definitely missing a few. So my apology. I'm not... Again, I've done no updates, so I'm not sure why some have changed. Unless there's a conflict between competitions, potentially, he says. Clutching at straws. Of course, the competition itself is for, as I mentioned, 1 of 5 guaranteed spots in the VCO Sim Grid final. The top 3 teams from this championship will get themselves a spot in the final, which is a 3-round endurance race series in November and December. They'll be in GT3 cars. 4th and 5th will get themselves a spot in the final in a GT4 car, and 6th, 7th and 8th will get a GT4 car in a playoff series in October. The top 3 teams in the playoff series will get themselves a spot in a GT4 car in the final. So absolutely all to play for. Once again, FRL done an absolutely outstanding job with the calendar and the format. 7 rounds, 14 races. We started at my beloved Spa, we went to Imola, we're now at Bathurst. Next up is Kyalami, then Silverstone, then Valencia, and then the Nürburgring. Oh yes, and as you saw from the standings, absolutely all to play for in these early stages. Team Bathurst UK in 5th place, less than 40 points off the top spot, with only 6 points separating the scores that they get. Simply as well, didn't realise it was such a Macafest. On Mike, every place at the minute is a Macafest. Is a popular car. The Bop tourism is strong. I believe is the correct terminology. Not that I'm in any way, shape or form saying that if I myself was to jump behind the wheel of a McLaren I would be competitive. No, you still need oodles of talent to get it around the track. As you can see from Jeffrey, 1:59.2, they're already sub 2 minutes. Of course, it's a 15-minute qualifying session, a 1-hour race. Then, as I said, the results from round 1 are taken and used as the starting grid for round number 2, except the top 10, who are reversed. And just to make it that extra bit spicy, of course, the driver swaps will take place during a 10-minute pit window. Busy mechanics, especially at a track like Bathurst. With the length of the lap, so it is going to be fun to see how the strategies play out. Jeffrey Ritchie there was in second, he was held up by traffic ahead. While that happened, Eric Delfante, why have all the liveries stopped? This is so bizarre. But yeah, Delfante taking the top spot at the minute. We saw him having a great battle with Ritchie at Imola last week. Gornikov, the VDES team, second place at the minute. Team Ballast, 5th in the championship. 3rd at the minute with Malo for the SRE Rocket Simsport team. Making their way down the hill. 4th place at the minute. Another car involved in lots of action up at the front of the grid. We've got 30 cars out this evening. Yevgeny Nietman amongst the half a dozen that haven't set a time yet. FRL organiser James William, well, he's the boss man, his livery's worked, so I might escape a too big a slap on the wrist this evening, and he does get himself a time set. I do know the 296 from personal experience is a handful around here, especially down into Forest Elbow, which I still maintain should be called Hell's Corner. I don't understand why Turn 1's called Hell's Corner when you've got Forest Elbow on the track. It makes no sense to me. Let's jump on board with Eric Delfante. Don't know where the music, the singing came from. I promised that won't happen again. He says to regret teeth because what's happened, let's face it, just now. We've got 6 minutes left to qualify and still plenty of time for the drivers to improve. And coming down the hill, this is into Forest Elbow. So many ways to get this corner wrong. Flipping the ball on the inside or the outside, of course, onto the fastest part of the track, the Con Rod Straight. The only part of the track that's been changed since its inception back in 1938, which had changed it eventually. It wasn't until 1986 to prevent cars. I don't know if anyone's seen the footage on YouTube. The iRacing driver just goes straight at this point over where the barriers are. Well, that was the problem. Cars were leaving the track and ending up in residential gardens. So the chase was added only change the track has seen. Coming into Murray's Corner, again surprisingly not named after the Scottish tennis player. Surprised me as well. And along the start-finish straight, a very short start-finish straight that takes us into Hell's Corner. It should definitely be called Forest Elbow. It leads into the forest along the mountain straight, of course, second fastest part of the track. We're going to see a lot of duelling going on along here. Not the smoothest part of the track as well. We'll see the drivers moving right to left to try and find the flatter tarmac. Heavy on the brakes and into Quarry Bend. That little kink right just before the brake. Oh, Delphante. Extra steering input, sir. Into the cutting he goes. Flat out straight into there. You really need to be right on this inside as close as possible. Let that push you straight out. Up in the third. Oh, touch of the curb there. Corrects that massively. I really doubt this is the setup it's going to be used for the race, but through Griffiths Park, Reed Park and into Sulman Park. I've actually seen a few worldy overtakes side by side through this left-hander. It does really compromise your run into the downhill section. The S's and the Dipper, or the extra firm wheel gripper, as it should be called, and then down into Forest Elbow. This bit here, all those black marks on the road, they're all made by Ferrari drivers locking up on the way down into Forest Elbow, then back onto the Conrod straight against Slipstream Central. This will be for the majority of the race. You can see even in qualifying, slow car ahead, sneaking way into Slipstream, fly on past the Lambo. Delphante flying only 2 thousandths separating the top two, 3.8 miles of course the track is. Through that final chicane again, all the extra steering input being applied there by Delphante. So at the minute, yeah, only 2 thousandths separating the top two at the minute, and they're a clear 200ths ahead of Rafael Malo, who's got himself up to third. Konstantin Soldatov finds himself now in fourth, and Philip Ballawender, Petrol Aficionados Racing, making his debut in the series this evening, finds himself on the third row of the grid. Still 3 minutes to go though, and a lot of green sectors out there. Dominic Illinger looking quick, Barry Gibbons looking to improve on his position as well. Thompson in the pits, Benjamin Eck, I feel 1.4 seconds up the FRL Arrive and Drive Lambo, definitely off his pace. So too Jason Pooley, the SRE Simply Race Esports BMW, not set a time yet, and that is getting a bit close. So really needs to bring one home on this lap, because it's going to be one after this one. Crunk Monkey in the chat, good evening, how are we doing? Kane is ill this morning. It sounds like someone replaced his vocal cords with a concrete mixer full of blocks of dried concrete, and a couple of breeze blocks, and a few house bricks. So rather than have you all think we were back in the 80s and it was Mads Bishop, I do like to throw the Aussie stereotypes Kane's way. He takes it on the chin very, very well indeed. But yeah, no, he wasn't not in the best of conditions. So straight back to his bed with some money in his tea. Because yeah, more than anything, I don't need that in the surround sound headphones. But how was James this evening? Honestly, James, how is that Ferrari around Bathurst? Down into Forest Elbow, that braking zone. Very, very tricky. I think you would agree. Delphante goes 800ths quicker to almost to a 10th between the front row of the grid. 1 minute 58.8. Gornikov with a 1 minute 58.8 also, but it's 0.887. Talent issue, understandable. I'm still waiting on Fanatec to send my talent as well. That's why I'm here. Lewis Robinson, James Williams all in the pits, Picasso in the pits, Ian Thompson at the helm there, Gibbons in as well. Neil Woodward, so is King of the Hills Craig Hill. Want to live up to King of the Hills? You never know though. The Yellow Submarine, how we all would love to live in one. Roy Vermeer. Another... Yeah, don't know what's going on. Again, James, apologies for the liveries. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I've done the update, the sync liveries on Awesome Sim Racing, but there is a lot that have not worked, unfortunately. There is Yevgeny Nietman for Simply Race Esports. Who there is Jeffrey Ritchie, 4 tenths down, just coming around the last corner. In fact, he's found another 10th. Oh, has he? Crosses the line, goes third. Goes third within 2 tenths. McLaren's top 8 at the minute with Giovanni Pipo for the Italian job. 8th position, 8th to 1st. They've been, first in 3 of the 4 races. So they've definitely got form, but doing it round the mountain, although driver swaps, pit stops, anything is possible. Vincenzo Senatore for Guerrilla Racing, looking quick at the minute. So too is Benjamin Eck and Luka Zupanchik. Just coming in the last corner. Might just about crack the top 15 here. No, 17th. Wow, unbelievably quick field at the minute. Gornikov coming along the bottom straight at the minute. Not green on his delta. Dominic Illinger definitely is though, but he's still got to descend the mountain. Vincenzo Senatore. Oh, Hell's Corner. And there goes the 3 tenths he was carrying. He's got a little bit of time. No, there we go. It's gone. He's going to be negative by the time he gets to the straight. Illinger down on his time. Oh, and Gornikov was a 10th up. Oh, he had pole position. Oh, right, no, he got there, yeah, 0.6. Wow, 0.06. Eric Delfante. Indeedy. 600ths of a second from the VDES Junior Esport team. Wow, if that's the junior team, could you imagine their big brothers were jumped in? Jeffrey Ritchie for Thomas Eng, championship leaders in 3rd place at the minute. Rafael Malo is still out on track. No, let's build a racetrack around the mountain with walls every place and put a double chicane in the pit entrance. Yeah, we'll just let that sink in for a second. In the qualifying, oh, Illinger and Veldman taking the purple sector in 9th and in the Audi. The only car in the top 11 that is not a McLaren. Oh, it's like Bentley days all over again. We've got Delfante and Piperetta at the top there with a single purple sector, but a 600ths of a second gap over Gornikov and Rakhmetov. Ritchie and De Campo less than 2 tenths behind and only a 10th and a half ahead of Malo. Luciano Whitvet. Well, there you go, the race room specialist. Yeah, well, he's very quick on race room as well. I know him well from race room. He's lapped me several times. Very cleanly, that's not... he is very quick, I am very slow. But yeah, I've been lapped by... yeah, he's quick. Soldata Vanani Friev in 5th. Bullawender and Lynn in 6th. Detsky and Polovchuk in 7th. People and Duby in 8th place. Illinger and Veldman in that Audi there, taking the purple sector 3 and 9th position. A second separating the top 10 with Milodanovic and Kops in 10th. Suzanne Schaefer in 11th place. McLaren should get ballast. Yeah, take it. Yeah, just remove a wheel. Maka is ridiculous fast. It is indeed, as we can see, just dominant. Like the Bentley of old with the petrol tank in the endurance races, you couldn't go wrong. So everyone jumped in one. If you can't beat them, join them. But yeah, that is a good there. Eck and Goodway, 18th position. Did I see someone mention? No, I did not. I've read that simply as we go then. So we've got a warm-up lap to go. will be 3.8 miles of tarmac. It is a lot of elevation as well. Some beautiful, beautiful scenery, which I'm sure the drivers will be paying full attention to while they're making their way around. There is a 10-minute pit window. For the drivers to come in and get the driver swaps taken care of. Bear with me a moment. Fast Tracker, hi. Is this the Macca Cup? It is the Macca Cup, and then we've got a support race on track as well. That consists of all the other manufacturers trying to crack into the top 10. But yeah, no, it is a very heavily populated McLaren field. A lot of things are dominated by the McLaren at the minute. I know it was recently bopped, but it is still very dominant. Yeah, there was a time when the Ferrari was a bit quick at a few places as well, but yeah, certainly the McLaren right up at the front of the field, and only one non-McLaren in the top 11, which is yeah, pretty incredible. Oh. Craig Hill has missed the start of the race, unfortunately. So is James Williams as well, so they're going to start from the pit. The pit lane here, not as severe of course as the elevation, 174 metres, but certainly the pit lane itself for the drivers. Now, where did I put that? There we go. Yeah, 47% of your lap, because the lap's so long and the pit's so short, even with that chicane, double chicane on the way in, you only lose 47% of your lap over a lap. So yeah, the still not the best place to be going in for drive-through penalties or starting from the pits at the start, even if it is a 1 hour race. But here we go, race number 1 of round 3. Still another 4 rounds to go, and another race after this one this evening. The results from this race will determine the starting grid for race number 2. The top 10 though will be reversed. And last week we saw all 3 from the podium in race 1 take the same spots again in race number 2. I think it's safe to say we might see a McLaren on the podium this evening. It's a very short run. There is the finish line. The cars making their way around the final corner. We've got 2 of them starting from the pits. There's the green lights, and we are away. It's foot down, flat out into turn number 1. Oh, the VDS Junior car's made a bit of contact, and that's left space for Richie to go up the inside. Mallow is perfectly poised in the background as they make their way along the bottom straight. Let's see, Jason Pooley did get a qualified time set. He's up in the 25th already. Everyone making it through nice and cleanly through the first couple of corners back to the lead group. And it is Richie now fending off Gornikov once again. Gornikov back up into second place. Malo still watching this battle ahead as Delfante makes it a nice clean start up the hill into the cut and they go. Beautiful procession of cars, although there is a bit of a side-by-side there in the background. Oh no, there has been contact. No, there's a Lamborghini who is doing his best to hold his brakes. That is a huge bottleneck effect there. Bolawander is still running. He was the car that was side by side there. Let's see. Who was that Lamborghini? 41. So James Williams just out the pits. Craig Hill down there as well. Oh, and we've got more action just up ahead. As they're coming down the hill, so the lead group have made it through. There's a bit of a yellow flag through the mountain, and there is another yellow flag there. So I've completely missed who that Lamborghini was. No, they've made it through as well. Oh, Ian Thompson in the Mercedes finds himself the wrong way coming down the mountain. No one behind him. So you'll be able to get the car right straight away, but the Delfante is still leading the way. Gornikov still in second, Richie still in third, Malo in fourth place at the minute. Soldatov just behind. Yuzdetsky is sitting just behind him in sixth position. Bolawander, Pipo Illinger and Miladanovic sitting in 10th place at the minute, so all still very close up at the front with Cesar Loesch and Kruk in 13th position. Pizzoni, the lead Ferrari at the minute, 14th place being but chased by Zupanchik in the lead Porsche at the minute in 15th position. As you can see, Zupanchik actually finding a bit of a gap there. Let's see what Richie's doing up at the front. He's still closing in on Gornikov. These front three very, very, very close still. Rafael Malo sitting just behind them at the minute. You can see how close they are through there. The slightest mistake and somebody's going to pounce even around track as difficult as this is to overtake. If the opportunity is there, they won't go for it, even if it does mean bringing another driver into the equation. And Malo could well be that driver. And in fact, so could Soldatov along this bottom straight if he keeps this run up down the mountain. If he can keep within 3/10s exiting Forest Elbow, he could be in the hunt through the slipstream. Malo really throwing it in down through the S's and the dipper, managing to hold on to that millimetres from the wall. Keeps it nice and close to the right, then over to the left, looking for that exit. The lead three again, just getting that little breakaway. In fact, Delfante finding himself with a bit of a bigger gap this time around. Malo, can he fend off the advances of Soldatov, who's looking very quick in the background. Yudzewski, Bolawander and Pipo are having themselves a battle as well. But when it's he's just touched the grass there. They really do know how to use every millimetre of the track that they can to get these times done and get these laps put in. It's Malo who looks like he's going to come across the finish line in fourth place once again. Soldatov ever closer though after that lap across the start finish line to start lap number 3. Is Delfante in the lead for ITJ setups, and it's VDS Juniors still in second with Thomas Eng Simracing championship leaders in third place. 8/10s now separate the top two, with Richie only 3/10s behind the McLaren of Gornikov. He's not going to be close enough here. Has a look up the inside as if he's going it. Can still hold on to the car. Good exit by both drivers. Was it enough to bring Malo into the equation early doors? No, it wasn't. Soldatov still hanging in there as well. 3 PM already. The drivers got the lights on. Yudzewski is the cork in the bottle at the minute. Bolawander, Pipo Illinger and Miladanovic just behind. David Cesar not too far behind this little group either. Alan Brown, good evening. Pit window's free. No, there's a 10-minute pit window in the middle of the race. So with 35 minutes left to go, it'll open, and with 25 minutes left to go, it will close again. So the drivers need to come in and get the swaps done during that window. Could be all important given how close it is up at the front, and still very close down at the back. Jason Pooley up another 3 positions then. He's already up to 22nd place, and Rubio into the pits. That was the Lambo, the TYR car that was saw sideways up at the cutting on the opening few laps. I should have really recognised that one. Ian Thompson, King of the Hills, now at the back of the grid, and he's carrying a bit of damage. Started in the pits and still managed to get caught up in the goings on at the top of the mountain. So too Williams, who is in fact now behind Craig Hill as well. There's still battles going on with Jones and Vermeer at the minute. 21st place, the yellow submarine car. It's Pooley's got behind him, who will be pushing him along. Oh, and there is the absolute Ferrari of Pisoni facing the wrong way. So as you can see, hopefully coming along the Cornwall Straight. Oh, he's just 2 wheels on the grass on the exit. Yeah, he's lost a bit of paintwork there, but shouldn't be too much damage. Wasn't an impact with the wall, more like a gentle contact and a whole lot of scraping. But does hold his brakes really well there, which you love to see. But yeah, Leonardo Pisoni then tumbling down the order. Almost 10 positions dropped there. David Cesar looking to make it a 1 positional improvement. Milodanovic firmly in his sights. In fact, let's get back up to the top because Malo has got a podium battle firmly within his sights. Jeffrey Ritchie is the driver he is chasing, and Ritchie is still chasing the Gornikov, while Delfante has found even more time on them. 1.3 seconds is now the gap he's got there. Ben Crook trying to get past Remy Loesch at the minute for 12th position. Cesar and Milodanovic still battling. So too Ellinger, Pipo, Bolawander and Zudzetsky, very much the cork in the bottle there. And it looks like this is a good... Oh no, it's not. Sorry, this is the wrong one. Malo in the background. No, so he did get a better exit then. I looked at the gap and closed slightly, but out of Forest Elbow. It's Malo that got the exit he definitely needed there to fend off the advances. Oh, the VDS car coming under all kinds of pressure from Jeffrey Ritchie then, looking left, looking right, trying to unsettle him, trying to force a mistake, trying to get that overtake done if he can. Clearly feels he's quicker at the moment, and for all the life of the footage that we're seeing at the minute, that would certainly lend credence to his theory at the minute. But can he get the overtake done? This is not an easy track, so easy to get it done. I'm guessing the 720 Evo is a snail around here. Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate for the drivers to have picked it. It is, yeah. It's definitely unfortunate. They're only a light year ahead of everyone else. 5 seconds penalty. We've got some penalties coming in. And that's been added to as well, so we'll let that settle. Now that's for causing a collision. And it's Ian Thompson in the Mercedes. So carrying damage and got a 20-second penalty to bring into the pits. Ben Crook and Remy Loesch. They're still doing battle as well, but so too Ritchie and Malo. They two not so much doing battle. Malo more trying to stand his ground while fending off Soldatov. I'm sure he's keen for Ritchie to try and get a move done on Gornikov. Not quite as keen, I'm sure, as Ritchie is, but along the Conrod Straight once again is, as we were, Delfante finding time on the field. Gornikov, Ritchie, Malo and Soldatov was in a hair's breadth of one another. As we can see coming along. In fact, let's have a look. Don't usually use chase cam, but you can see just how close this battle is. And the three ahead, this is exactly the same gap that the top three had before Delfante found that breakaway. So it's now down to Gornikov then, almost like a cycling peloton. His turn to try and break away to bring Soldatov into the mix potentially. Or is it going to be Soldatov that finds himself the main beneficiary of the battles going on ahead? Malo into Hill's corner to start lap number 6. Incredibly close to over the top. Uzetsky now behind Ellinger. and Pipo, so he's dropped a couple of positions. Cesar still applying pressure to Milodanovic. Richie, as we can see, still applying that pressure. Has he got this one around the outside? Surely not. He's going to need all the grip he can, and Malo's going to say thank you very much. It's often the third man in the equation that's the best position, and it's Richie that's put himself in a caught. Oh, and he's moved right over. My apologies, I don't know if he's moved right over. I only got one quick look at that. But yeah, it did look like he had gone slightly straight on the way up into the cutting. Malo then was looking very quick. I was just saying, are him or Soldatov going to be the one's best position? Richie going round the outside, was nowhere near side by side on the way into Hell's Corner. Really compromised that run up the hill. That is a close one. That is a close one. Thankfully, I did a broadcast. The steward and team look at anything that may or may not have occurred. So we'll let them make any decision if necessary on that one. Some light flashing at the minute as well. All the while, Delfante getting himself a good breakaway. Lord in the chat throwing Richie standards. Throwing him under the bus a bit there. I will happily remain neutral. To be fair, I've never seen, I don't think I've seen too many incidents with Richie in the races I've presided over. See how the rest of this one plays out with Delfante now 3 seconds ahead. The absolute Delfante show up at the front. Cesar and Milodanovic still battling away. In fact, I thought Cesar was going to be a bit closer into the first corner there. Vermeer and Jones still close as well. Jones managing to fend him off for the moment. Vermeer still very much in range, and Yevgeny Nietman as well. Oh, Pooley on the way at the last corner then. Looked like he might have touched the curb. Really unforgiving then. The BMW was on a great charge as well, up to 20th position. So a good start to the race. Oh, and there is the Lambo, the Guerrilla Racing Lambo. I think we saw a little contact with the wall earlier from them. Oh, and the car just goes. The back end of the BMW just continues to rotate. And that is a direct contact with the wall. Senatore is that BMW we were just looking at there, the Guerrilla Racing car. 15-second penalty they've been handed, and Yudzieski has been handed a 15-second penalty as well. They'll all be served during the 10-minute pit window. Let's get back up to the front though. Bang on 3 seconds Agornikov has to try and make up to Delfante while fending off the advances of Richie, Malo and Soldatov. Really close in the braking zone. C. Jones did my livery for me, BMW. Good lad he is. Oh, which BMW again? Nope, it is Robinson. Oh yeah, the Texaco one, of course, yes. Indeed. It sounds good as well, that BMW. Remy Loesch, he can hear the beautiful sound of a Mercedes behind him. Ben Crook still attached to his rear spoiler. Oh, a lot of lateral movement from the Lamborghini out of Hell's Corner, and that could potentially give Crook a very good look along the mountain straight. They are side by side. You can hear the Porsche, the Lamborghini alongside him as he got the nose in front. He's got the car in front then. So it just goes to show you how much time can actually be lost if you use too much loud pedal on those exit curb to Hell's Corner. That is Ben Crook up into 11th position for PLR Esports, the Fungus Racing Mercedes. So a good start by them once again. Thomas Egg still with the Grey Star, and Soldatov still watching the whole battle unfold ahead. way down the hill. These 10 will be reversed, so if it stays as is, Cesar will start in 10th, in first place in the next race. So that is definitely a position you want to hold on. If you're going to finish outside the top 5 in this one, 10th place, not a bad place to do that. Don't damage the paint. Lord Craiglis says that number 121, let's go, Jeffrey Ritchie. As we would see if the camera can catch up. There we go. In the podium positions at the minute, he's got a battle on his hands fending off Mallow. And he's going to have a battle for the rest of the race as well. We're only 9 minutes away from the pits opening, that 10-minute window, of course. QT the Conserva says Lambo don't. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see the previous sentence here. AMG eating that curve like a pizza. Indeed they do. Yeah, the Mercedes, I've always called that as a bit of a cheat car as far as going over curves. It does not mess about. Does not mess about. Although a lot of the cars react a lot better with the curves these days, it has to be said. Still not as good as America, but yeah, definitely a vast improvement. You're getting Yateman looking for an improvement on his position, but Jones now safe in the knowledge that the car behind's got that 15-second penalty as well. Oh, and there we go, that exit curb again. That is Jones that's just gone sideways in the Guerrilla Racing car. Has very easily made his way through there. Leonardo Passoni, of course, we saw with the off-track excursion through the cutting, and he finds himself in 22nd, just behind Matthew Feltham. He is definitely quicker than Feltham at the minute, so could see his position improve before we get into the pits. Mallow still watching the podium battles. Delfante not quite running away as he was in the opening stages. The gap down to under 3 seconds, just. It's currently sitting, oh there we go, down slightly again, less than a 10, so they are finding a bit of time. They do have some back markers to make their way through. A couple of cars that pitted early. Oh, and Rubia still in the pits, unfortunately. Balawander down a lap as well. Neil Woodward coming into the pits, that must be for damage. Again, the pit window not open yet. So the drivers that are in at the minute will need to come back in again. Let's see what Soldatov is doing. Out of the first corner, he is close. How close is Rich going to be into turn 2? Not as close as Soldatov is going to be. This is a very good exit he's got. Mallow holds on to the inside line, but it's not going to be enough to fend off Soldatov. That's a good exit he's got then. Mallow quickly falls back into line. Maybe doing a bit of tyre saving there. That's a few laps. Although, sorry, he's not been the one in the slipstream, so no, he won't have been tyre saving. It's been Soldatov that has been overusing these tyres, because he has been in the slipstream. He's now up to 4th position. So Mallow maybe happy to let him push forward, see if he can make any impression on the battling 2 ahead. And they are still battling over the mountain on the exit to Suleiman Park. It's still McLaren v McLaren. Every place you look. Inside the top 10, of course, apart from Illinger, up to 7th position. So the Audi, that didn't fully register then. The Audi up a few positions from the start. Still, oh no, Ben Cook, sorry, 11th. The top 11 is no longer 10 McLarens and an Audi. We've got a Mercedes in there as well. Malt Pauly in 15th position for lock-up racing. One of the cars slowed up with that early incident. Yevgeny Yateman as well. Then Vincenzo Senatore for Guerrilla Racing. We've got another Lambo making their way through as well. Neil Woodward is a walking L, says Outlaw. Go Peepaws, go, says Trian. We'll go for Trian. Yeah, so that is Guerrilla Racing in the background with one of the race leader. In fact, the race leader. No, it's not the race leader. Oh, it's people. The Italian job car. Again, another car with a good start at the 6th position. So good start by them as well. Yuzetski with that penalty is going to lose positions to Milodanovic, Cesar, Kruk, Loesch. Bare minimum at the minute as it stands, so really needs to pick up the pace before the pit stop. So too the cars ahead. It was Yevgeny Nietman, sorry, not a lap car, one of the other SRE cars, Simply Race cars, coming into turn number 1, the Guerrilla Racing Lamborghini behind them. Chris Jones now 1.2 seconds down on that battle. Nietman going to be coming under pressure into turn 1. Is it going to be enough to see Senatore get himself side by side? There's the FRL car just getting out the way freshly out of the pits into Quarry Bend. Oh, and that's a good run there from Senatore. Not good enough though. He's going to be behind for another go over the top of the mountain. Woodward lap came in early for damage. Going on lap 1 on the way up, the which car was it? The TYR Sim Racing Lamborghini found a section of concrete which rotated the car, and Woodward's Lambo unfortunately found the car, and plus they started from the pits. So yeah, all the organising that they've had to do in the background. James Williams, of course, in the car with him, the organiser of Formula Racing League. And he is, so they have to start from the pits as well, so not the best start, but there is a second race for them to bring it back, so plenty of time to do so. Senatore still got plenty of time, or not got plenty of time before the pit stop window opens, sorry, as well as going to that. We're only 2 minutes before the pit window opens. Del Fante finding another 4/10 again then. Oh, Richie almost finding the back of Gornikov then, heading up the mountain. Richie definitely looking the quicker of the two there. He must have got a very good exit out of the first corner along the bottom straight and into turn number 2. Oh, and it is a duel of the slipstream there as soon as he changes gear. Oh, so Gornikov took the defensive line, went for the cut back. Oh, very, very, very close indeed. As they head up the hill, the headlights on. Into the cutting then. Richie definitely wants that position. He's been chasing him now since the start of the race. The race leader will be eternally grateful for this. You can be sure of that. Rafael Malo, long time in 4th place, now finds himself in 5th, and losing a bit of time to Soldatov over the mountain on that lap there. So we'll be well out with the slipstream. So the lead pack starting to separate out a little bit. Senatore, my apologies, Vincenzo is where I got the V from. Still chasing Nietman again over at the mountain. Craig Hill still chasing Matthew Feltham as well. The Lambo and the Audi battling it out at the minute. The MMS car holding on to 22nd at the minute. But Craig, King of the Hills, he's got a lot to live up to in this race. And Ruby is still in the pits, 9 laps down, so it does look the car won't be able to finish this race. It was a lot of contact with the wall on lap number 1. Quite a few other cars finding, as of course it's Bathurst, anyone that's raced here or seen a race here knows exactly what happens if one car gets it wrong going up this section that we can see the race leader go through. Yes, inevitably catches up at least half a dozen or so cars, given that there is no place for them to go. The expertly laser scanned walls will show you a lot of scrape marks. There's been quite a few this race so far. Cesar and Milodanovic still going at it for top 10 honours. The RNL Roar car still chasing Milodanovic in the fun sim racing car. And there is the pit window open. So we'll see who flinches first. Again, only 10 minutes to come in and get the pit stops taken. Get the driver swaps. There we go. Delphante. Still leading the way. He's going to be the first driver to come past the pits. Let's see if he takes the option to come in at the minute. You would think he was going to stay out. Coming in this early is going to come out in traffic. There we go. It'll be another lap for himself. Gornikov and Ritchie both staying out as well. Soldatov and Malo both doing the same. Rafael Pipo. Giovanni Pipo, sorry, in the background. He comes past as well. Illinger. So no early pit stops from the top 10. Ben Crook stays out as well. Remy Locher, Panda Esports. So no early pit stops inside the top 15 by the look of it. The driver's happy with the stints that they're putting in at the minute. And they've got plenty of time to come in. 24 degree track temperature, so fairly forgiving track temperatures given it is Bathurst and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The driver's certainly been a lot of like Jason Pooley into the pits. I'm sure he's had that damage repaired, but yeah, into the pits for damage. Luckily, the pit window open. Lewis Robinson in as well for FRL. Alan Brown on his way out. Some damage on that car there, and Neil Woodward into the pits as well. So 3 of the cars outside the top 20 coming in early doors, getting their pit stops done, mostly looking like that was damage inspired stops. Still some inspired defending by Kornikov up at the front. Jeffrey Ritchie still got firmly within his sights, and again Delphante really is stretching his advantage. Russ Racing, damage on most cars around here. Yeah, can't really disagree with that, to be fair. Is a tricky track with no place to go when it inevitably goes wrong, and around Bathurst it will inevitably go wrong. But yeah, it's not gone wrong so far. Touch wood, fingers crossed. For the drivers up at the front, it's gone all right for Gornikov at the minute. He's fended off all the attempts that Ritchie could throw his way. Now the two of them will be handing the wheel over soon. Oh, Ritchie thinking about a move into the pits there. Or faking a move into the pits, see if he can throw a Gornikov off, maybe see if he was trying to throw him off his race and follow him into the pits as well. Cesar does come into the pits, closely followed by Milodanovic. That chicane really is fun on the way in. Ben Crook stays out, so he's going to find himself with a couple of positions. Craig Hill, as we saw, he is in those pits. That's Jack Evans on the way back out, disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Hopefully Race Control can get that one lifted. That would be an unfortunate ending, to say the least. We've got Milodanovic and Cesar. Those are the two in the pits at the minute. Yevgeny Nietman now finds himself in 17th. Chris Jones up to 18th place. With all the pit stops being taken, it is Hill who's come out once again. Senatore in to the pits. Alan Brown back in the pits. He's only just come back out, and as David Hill there was taking over, of course, for Jason Pooley. 26th position for the BMW. So far, Delphante still comfortably leading, 4.2 seconds is the gap now with Gornikov, with the most breathing space we've seen so far in the race by quite some margin, 0.8 of a second. The almighty gap that he now finds himself having over Ritchie there in third. Soldatov, no gap for him since he's got past Malo. Malo has absolutely not let go to the back of that rear spoiler, but he'll have to now as Soldatov comes into the pits. Delphante in the pits from the lead. Gornikov in, Ritchie in, Malo has stayed out, so he's going to take the lead of the race, while Soldatov, as we saw, comes in as well. People and Illinger in to the pits as well. Feltham has handed the car over to Joe Playster for the MMS Michener Motorsport car in the Audi 23rd position. He's come back out in, but that of course is all going to change. There's Ian Thompson's back in the pits, I believe. Malo, as we saw in the lead, Delphante, Gornikov all still stationary. Benjamin Eck, Maltpolly and Vermeer getting close as well. They're all coming into the pits, so it looks like a 50-50 race for most of the teams. Leonardo Pisano, he comes in as well. He's done well to finish his stint. Gibbons comes in just ahead of him. Starting to see some movement. Yazeski, Zapanchik, Timur Rakhmetov comes out. Delphante is handed over the wheel to Piperetta. Gornikov, of course, handed over to Rakhmetov. De Campo is taken over for Ritchie, and it is Vasily Anyufriev that's taken over for Konstantin Soldatov. Giovanni Pipo has handed over to Hitchum Duby. The Italian job car back out in 10th again. Some of these positions are speculative at the moment, as we've still got cars to take their pits. Rafael Malo being one of them in the race lead. Does he answer? Is he happy with his pace at the minute? He is happy, and he is staying out. The track temperature has gone up by a degree, so we'll see if that has any effect on the tyres. It should really. Again, at 24 degrees around Bathurst, that's not too bad at all, considering how hot it can get. Yazeski coming into the pits now with that 15 seconds to serve. That's going to be a fairly large drop in position. Only 2.5 minutes left to go. So Subanchik, if he stays out, needs to be bang on with this lap. He comes in. Benjamin Eck, you'd think he's going to come in on this lap as well. It is getting a bit close. 2 minutes 30. He does have time for one more lap, but comes in. Maltpolly is getting a bit close to time running out. 2 minutes 23. I would say he's going to come in on this lap as well. Not worth the added pressure of breaching that stint timer. So Malo then will stay out for that extra lap. Williams is in 22nd position in the pits, and Philippe Balawander for the Petrol Aficionados comes in from 21st. Ruby Hill there still in the pits, and in fact Williams already on his way out, so a very quick stop there. The Ferrari back out 23rd position, so some good positions made up there. Uzeski, Zapanchik, Eck and Maltpolly all still in the pits. Rafael Malo is going to come in on this lap. Sergio Piperetto, holder of the fastest lap, is he in? He should still be in the lead of the race. He had at least a 4-second gap over the chasing pack, and Malo was in 5th position, of course, behind Anyufriev's car, the McLaren. He's currently in 5th. Will he retake 4th though? Has Malo done enough to get that position from him? Maltpolly, as you can see, tumbling down the order. He's handed the car over to Matthias Heilmann. The McLaren just on his way out now, 15th position, and I think Doc Richard out for the Panda Esports team. They are ahead, so too Zapanchik and Benjamin Eck, and the FRL arrive and drive, so a good clean pit stop for them. Tim Schaefer's taking over, of course, for the RNL Roar car. Still putting pressure on the Fun Sim Racing car. Rock Cops, the driver, behind the wheel at the minute. There is Rafael Malo coming in. Here is Piperetta into the final chicane. De Campo is on the straight as well. Rakhmetov, also Anyufriev. Here he comes. This is the really interesting one then. Where is Anyufriev compared to the SRE Rocket Sim Sport car? Still stationary. Piperetta in and out the last corner. James Williams just being lapped there. One of the other cars, the Guerrilla Racing car, using them for an extra bit of slipstream on the way out of the corner. Pit windows now closed. Luciano Whitfit is behind the wheel. Oh, and it's a straight shootout, and he is just ahead, but is he going to be able to hold on to it? He's got cold tyres, he's on the outlap, and it is Anyufriev, the car that they were battling with before they came into the pits. They've got the position on them, but it does look like Anyufriev is going to have the run along the bottom straight and along the mountain straight, but it is Whitford with the line into the corner, not round the outside, much better grip. Oh, and he's touched the wall. And Frieve's run a bit wide, he's touched the wall, and Whitford is going to hold on to that position then, so gets it done through the pit stop phases, then gets themselves back up to 4th place, and unfortunate contact with the wall there from Anu Friev on the way up the mountain. Sees him lose time, just a little bit of damage on the outside of the car that you really do not need. I tried everything he could. Oh, just a little bit. Oh, it was the back of the car on that extra piece of barrier there that juts out just at the end. And that's unsettled the car, sent the back sideways, and that has Luciano Whitford in the team hang on to 4th position. So that's the only change then in the top 5. Big change it is at the minute, and Tim Schaefer looking to make a big change as well. These two battling before they came into pits, much like the two that we were just watching, and they have resumed this battle. We've also got Mike Pasemko has come out for the Absolute Motorsport Aslov team after their 15-second penalty season dropped down. Oh no, it was damage they had. They didn't have the penalty, sorry. 17th position there, and Michael Firth is out for BG. Floppy Fox, of course, from the PlayStation days. Derek Bruff's out, but hasn't Chris Gedman in the car, but not moving. Derek Bruff in the pits. Oh no, hasn't. Yeah, the mandatory hasn't cleared from him there, so that'll be a penalty, no doubt. Tim Schaefer still looking for that overtake. Luciano Whitford. Oh, he's back behind Anu Friev. Oh, so I've missed the overtake there. My apologies. So Anu Friev not wasting any time. Looks like it could have been a very good exit from the Conrod Straight that made that one happen. But whatever it was, he got it done. So Anu Friev then back up into that 4th position, Whitford back down to 5th. Pepperette just going past David Hill there. The SRE car still looking a bit damaged. Let's keep an eye on Schaefer and Kopp, still battling for top 10 at the minute. Schaefer, if he gets overtaken on Kopp, is going to drop a position in race number 2. 20 minutes until race number 2, and then the more haste, less speed, young man. The starting grid for race 2 is the finishing order from race 1 with the top 10 reversed. It was as easy as that. So yeah, at the minute, Kops and Schaefer battling for 2nd and 3rd in the next race. Lorenzo Trizoldi, the PLR eSports car, currently looking to take 1st in the next race, but he's got Polovchuk and Richard very close to him indeed, and they will be acutely aware of the fact that this is for P1 in race number 2, so a big difference in starting position for these drivers. Polovchuk gets one overtake done here. He will start 10 positions ahead of Trizoldi and Richard, which would be a big gap to put between you and your rivals around such a difficult track. To get those overtakes done, Pepperetta now finds himself 2.5 seconds behind De Campo. Polovchuk having a big look at the last corner there. Trizoldi holding his line. You really don't want to be hitting that left-hand curve on the last corner of Bathurst. Into Hell's corner. Richard still chasing Polovchuk. Schaefer is still chasing Kops. Has he got the run this time? Both cars staying over to the right. Kops staying over to the right, then making sure he's got that line. Goes defensive right at the last second there. Looking to hold the line through the cutting. Oh, Schaefer opens the corner up, looking for a big look right at that inside apex then. Good exit by Schaefer, but Kops putting on all the defensive performance, all the defensive nous that he's got, putting it all on the line at the minute, holding off this RNL Roar car. These two cars have been battling since the start of the race. Car 121 getting some love in the chat from Vavota. Come on, 1-2-1, Matteo De Campo. Thomas Eng Sim Racing, of course, taking over from Jeffrey Ritchie, second place. Wow, and that's completely flown under my radar. My apologies, but yeah, they are up to second position. Yes, so De Campo's put on an absolute flyer then. Sorry, yeah, we did see that overtake get done. So yeah, so they're up to second position, of course. So yeah, car 121 looking very good, and at the minute they are lapping a bit quicker than the race leader. The gap is dropping. Oh, Guerrilla Racing the wrong way round. Guerrilla Racing. Oh, there's Lockup Racing locked up as well. Matthias Haleman facing the wrong way down the mountain. He gets himself going again. That's going to be another positions, 2 positions dropped there. The Guerrilla Racing car as well. Looks like it's got a little bit of damage. Down to 20th, Joe Playster into the pits for the MMS car. With Hufter on the assumption that is damage inspired as well. So the mountain is Cruel Mistress right till the final checkered flag, and we've still got 18 minutes before we see that checkered flag. Polovchuk trying to get himself into P1 for the second race. Lorenzo Trizoldi currently holding on to that, but it's with Polovchuk and Richard both keenly eyeing this one up. Haleman, there is the Lockup Racing car in the pits. As we saw him facing the wrong way there, unfortunately. That's them back in the pits, getting some more damage repaired. Still got race 2 to come. There's still plenty more racing and points available over the series. Luciano Whitfit definitely not as quick at the minute as Anu Friev. Anu Friev finding a good old gap there, goes past David Hill. But Anu Friev now closing in very quickly on Rakhmetov, and Matteo De Campo also closing in very handily on Piperetta. In fact, the two of them on the same stretch of tarmac for the first time since the race opened. There's 1.4 seconds between them. Piperetta at the moment about half a second a lap quicker. So at this pace, the race lead definitely nowhere near the side. With 16 minutes to go. We've got penalties coming in. Car 989. That is Joe Playster in the Audi picking up a bit of a penalty there. De Campo still picking up the pace up at the front. Richard Polovchuk and Trizoldi still battling out for that 10th position. As I say, this is pole position in race number 2 that's on the line between these three. A bird in hand is definitely worth 2 in the bush. Stamenkovic in the Lambo for Simply Race Esports back in the pits. So to go over for Nyeatman, but back in the pits. Again, likely to be damage. Just because it's Bathurst, it is the most likely conclusion. Polovchuk and Trizoldi, those the battle that we're watching, so let's just keep an eye on this. Oh, Polovchuk really having a look there, not quite able to get it done, and it was the Lambo that almost said thank you very much. And in fact, I think Trizoldi has potentially been overtaken here. Let me just double check this. Also had big look up the inside. Polovchuk, oh no, oh, is the Mercedes run wide? Nope, but the Lamborghini has come from absolutely no place in the background. It's going to be the McLaren that gets shut out here, potentially go right round the outside the cut, and he's touched the wall, and that's more than just the touches. The Lambo comes in, almost loses his nose. The McLaren still ahead, so the McLaren is still ahead. It was just as we're going through the sector there, but yeah, Trizoldi still in that 10th position. Anu Friev still closing in on Rakhmetov, and so too is Matteo De Campo closing in on Piperetta. They're within a second now. And that lap again, almost half a second, 4/10 of a second separating them. So again, about half a second a lap, he's catching up. Trackalicious, good evening. How we doing? Is that Mike or is that Eric? Who do we have at the helm of Trackalicious? Eric, how we doing, Eric? Good evening. Up eyeing the on-track competition. No doubt. See, qualifying time here was two teams did a 1 minute 58.8. Yeah, very quick. 600ths of a second separated the two of them at the top. So yeah, very, very, very quick. Very, very, very close, and it is getting closer once again. Up at the front, none of the podium's positions are confirmed at the moment. Piperetta and De Campo are looking good to take two of them. Which two? We will find out in 13 minutes time. We've got Anufriev and Rakhmetov battling out for that final podium position as well. Luciano Whippet comfortably in 5th now, would be in 6th. Veldman in 7th, Kops 8th, Schaefer 9th, and Trizoldi still managing to hang on to that 10th position. Oh no, just as I say that, he's lost it. He's maybe and another touch of the wall there. He's going to lose 2 positions. Indeed, fortuitous positioning there for the Lambo. And Doc Richard for Panda Esports finds himself with a very comfortable overtake there. Let's have a look and see. Trizoldi heading up the mountain. Has he touched the wall then? Oh yeah, that's all it takes. That is all it takes. Another touch of the wall. Again, the Mercedes engine roaring and grunting, but all it can do is watch its fellow German manufactured Lamborghini sail on past Trizoldi. Then valiant battle, and valiantly held on to that 10th place for 4 laps then, but has been overcome. The pressure and the walls the undoing of many teams. So that is now Polovchuk starting race 2 in 1st position. The Team Ballast team, I'm sure, will be celebrating. And again, the 3 podium positions. Who is going to finish where? Piperetta has lost on that last lap again, half a second to De Campo. Anufriev losing exactly the same amount of time to Rakhmetov over that final lap as well. Derek Brough picking up a penalty for causing a collision then, 15 second. Mr. Double O, how's the mountain treating the folk at FRL? Folk up at the front, fantastically. There've certainly been people that have found themselves a few connections with the wall, though, unfortunately. We've still got race 2 to go as well. The chef going to get P1. The chef. Outlaw, throw me a bone. Which one are we going for? Is that De Campo? Is he known as? I'm going to guess that's De Campo because of the DE. We'll go with the chief. Or is he a chef? Matea cooking. The chef. Data, my good man. I cannot make bricks without clay. Apparently. Yeah, there we go. If I read everything in chat, I'll be able to keep up and make an informed reply. Who'd have thunk it? Who can make an informed reply? But we've certainly got people in the chat cheering on De Campo. Anyone reckon that Piperetta can fend him off? Anyone reckon DeVee can fend off Veldman? The fast forward racing car really has fast forwarded the Audi up to 7th position and looking very strong for 6th. Again, another car half a second quicker than the car ahead of him. Rakhmetov still 3 tenths behind Anufriev. De Campo within 3 tenths of Piperetta. He's done the easy part. He's closed the gap. He is half a second a lap quicker. Now it's Bathurst. He's got to get the overtake done. With a half a second time advantage, it sounds like it should be easy, but where is that half a second? It's a 3.8 mile track, a 10th here, a 10th there. Quickly adds up to half a second. It's not like it's going to be, it's unlikely to be half a second out of one corner. So where does De Campo find the overtake? Coming down through the S's and into the dipper. 100% commitment on those right hand curves as well, into the gully curves on the right again, over the left, millimetres from the wall once again. how did they manage to get the car to stop like that into Forest Elbow? I absolutely cannot do it. I was in the 296 here recently and it was a handful. Is this the corner and the straight that hands the Campo the lead of the race though? They're going to be side by side and there's a pack marker ahead of them. Blue flags will be flashing for Neil Longdon as we see the lead of the race potentially change hands. He's got the inside line on the way into the final chicane. Is the cut back on for Piperetta? It is not, and the Campo, how do you get an overtake done at Bathurst? There you go, along the Conrod Straight and into the chase. Absolute textbook overtake there from De Campo. The chef has cooked himself a meal there, and dinner is 100% served. Wow, absolute commitment on the brakes here. Takes that inside line, doesn't run wide on exit, uses the curve, still got all the pressure of Piperetta behind him into the final corner, but hangs on to the lead of the race, and it is Thomas Eng Engineering they're going to see themselves with a very handy gap up at the front of the standings. Then another race win on the cards, a race win so far, a third and 2 seconds last week. Hopper first on this, and that 20-point gap at the top is going to extend with the Italian job currently running outside of the top 5. Outlaw and Vavota and Abi in the chat, absolutely buzzing for the overtake that the Campo's got there, and rightfully so. It is an absolute cracker. Let's have a look at Anya Fria then, because this podium position is still not decided. These two McLaren still duking it out for third and fourth, although Piperetta is not giving up the ghost on this one. Although, yeah, as we saw in the lead up there, the Campo half a second a lap quicker. Just needs to keep that kind of pace going. Good to see Matthias Hillman back out on track for lock-up racing. Chris Gedman out as well, then back out the pits after getting damage repaired. Nico Veldman still closing in on Duby. The Audi driver really is trying to get his way past that McLaren. Copse and Schaefer now find themselves with a 1.5 second gap. So Copse soaked up that pressure from Schaefer as they exited the pits. Oh, Trizoldi's come back in the pits, I think. We saw him clip the wall a couple of times. It can certainly throw off your aerodynamics ever so slightly, make it just that bit more difficult, as we see Veldman make it look very easy along the Conrod Straight. That's the second overtake we've seen there in as many laps, and it's Veldman up to 6th position. Still close up at the front with Anu Friev still being chased. Oh no! Oh yeah, sorry, Anu Friev still being chased by Rakhmatov, with still in 5th. Veldman, as we saw, up to 6. Copse and Schaefer now separated by about 1.5 seconds, although they've made their way through the traffic then, and Schaefer's closed right back up. It's been over 1 second through the final couple of sectors there. So very quick lap. Yeah, Copse 2:02.1 compared to Schaefer's 2:07. So certainly not a great lap there from Rock Copse. That's brought Schaefer right back into the hunt once again then. Trizoldi's going to tumble down the order, and Rakhmatov is going to be again looking for any opening that he can. Oh, Matthias Haleman there for lock-up racing. 3 drivers all doing a lot more than locking up there, that is for sure. But they've all survived, the 3 McLarens making their way past one another. But these two still separated by 0.3 of a second. Schaefer and Copse 0.3 of a second. We've got a few cars in the pits. Chris Gedman still out and running in 26th place. They're in Rubia in the pits. Haleman and Brock both with penalties to serve for the next one. Is Jeffrey driving with him? He is indeed. Jeffrey done the opening stint, and De Campo has taken the second, and both of them put in very, very, very good stints indeed. Hence the lead of the race. Now to 1.4 seconds. So they really are absolutely flying there up at the front. Rakhmetov still trying to find a way past the fellow McLaren driver and Yefreev. The VDS Junior car was at one point up in second position. So they're now down in fourth place with just 4 minutes to go, race number 1. Really is struggling to hold on to that car there. Oh, yep, both survived there. That looked close. I should quick mention as well, my apologies, the petrol aficionados did make the driver swap. It's Jimmy Lynn that's come out. He finds himself very close to Bjorn Dale, who I think is carrying a bit of damage on that Guerrilla Racing Lamborghini. But they are still closing in on the drivers ahead. Oh no, he's just flipped that ball again. He's going to come under all kinds of pressure then as Lynn tries to get the overtake done. But yeah, the Guerrilla Racing Lambo was certainly... Oh, Jimmy Lynn well held that car. Incredible save there for Jimmy Lynn. That was absolutely not the easiest thing to do. As you can see, on the exit to the cutting, the Lamborghini ahead of him, very, very, very unsettled. And I think he clips the wall here as well. But Lynn certainly pushing his driving talents to the absolute limit there. As they head into Reed Park, the back of the Lambo just continues to go. Clean up on aisle 3 for the petrol aficionados. That'll be a lot more than petrol that was spilled through that corner there, I can assure you. Tim Schaefer still within 0.3 of a second. Rakhmetov as well still within 0.3 of a second. Mattia De Campo with 2.5 minutes left on the race timer for race 1, round 3. Finds himself with this comfortable 2-second gap. No such comforts for these two though. So let's jump on board with Rakhmetov. What a save, fair play, says Russ Racing. Indeed, an absolute otherworldly of a save there. Yeah, the 1.9 physics definitely helped not to take anything away from the driver's ability. No way I would have been able to catch that. That's why I hide behind the microphone. Oh, Rakhmetov really on that right-hand curve. Again, some of these drivers right at the top level really know how to control the car. They're making their way over these curves. Beautiful rotation. Oh, and he's going to have a bit of steering input there, as he did, heading down towards Forest Elbow. And Yefreev soaking up the pressure at the minute. Rakhmetov happy to keep applying it. 1.5 minutes left of the race, so they're going to have one lap after this one. De Campo 59.9 up at the front, so again another half a second quicker than Piperetta behind them, extending that gap out. You can see the face of absolute calmness and serenity there. What is the owner of FRL doing racing? Hopefully enjoying himself. Kind of weird. I'm trying to think of an organisation I know where the owner doesn't race. But no, certainly in my experience, in my little corner, I don't think... I started from the pits on purpose to avoid the non-carnage, and then got caught in the carnage. But yeah, no, I would say outlaw, definitely in my experience. I don't know many organisations where the owners don't, the founders don't race. It's kind of, usually you'll find that's why people found these things, so they can get themselves a good race. But yeah, I know James absolutely loves his driving, so it's great to see him, yeah, it's great to see him out there taking part. Hopefully we'll see him back out with an improvement on result in race number 2. Schaefer still pressing to be 9th place at the minute. Could have biased penalties. Ah, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, bias penalties are not something you worry about. Derek Brough, FRL Racing, 15-second penalty. So yeah, that's not something that would that would be more the integrity of the stewards. I would say that's definitely taking part is the way forward. It says me again that hides behind the microphone. And we are more brutal to each other. Exactly, because you all should know better. You've got to hold yourself to a higher standard, which is good. And yeah, having known James and the gang so long, I 100% can back that. So yeah, but yeah, James, if we get himself ready. Mr. Campo, I got distracted there. My apologies. De Campo's crossed the line and he's won the race. Great drive from the Thomas Young Sim Racing. They're going to cement their place at the top of the standings ahead of race number 2, Piperetta. With the fastest lap of the race for the ITJ Setups car, third place with Anu Friev. Managing to hang on to third, fending off Rakhmatov right at the end. Luciano Whitfit. De Campo is indeed very fast indeed. From the year that I've had, raced with FRL, can't fault the admins. More than fair. GG's. Will Gibson. Normal Tess W. Sure if you understand that one. But Jimmy Lynn there crossing the line after that unfortunate incident we saw. But De Campo taking the top spot then. Polovchuk crossed the line 11th, and it's Richard. Doc Richard in the Panda Esports car then got ahead of Polovchuk. Missed that in the closing stages as well. My apologies. They're going to start race 2 in P1. De Campo, of course, the prize for winning the race, gets to start in P10 in race number 2. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, De Campo is absolutely rapid around here. Although Piperetta and the gang did take the fastest lap, so an interesting one. Pasemko, the last driver to cross the line for for the Absolute Motorsport team. Oh, Trizoldi is still out as well. Oh no, he's not. He's back in the pits. But just wait on Pasemko to finish. Average TES comeback. And there he is across the line. So we will. No posh screens to hide it, unfortunately. We'll get a look at the confirmation of the results then. De Campo and Ritchie. What a race. Both drivers involved in battling. De Campo, a lot less battling, but got that first place from Piperetta, Anufriev and Soldatov. In third, Rakhmatov and Ogornikov. In fourth, with Whitfit and Malo finishing in fifth. Veldman and Illinger got themselves sixth. Kops and Milodanovic in seventh for the Fun Sim Racing Team DB, and people finishing ahead of RNL Roar in ninth, and it was Team Ballas that rounded out the top 10 with the FRL Arrive and Drive Lamborghini finishing in a very respectable 11th position. So yeah, great drive from the podium drivers, especially of course De Campo and his teammate. Absolutely phenomenal. And we get to do it all again. Of course, it is the FRL Super Sprint to the Grand Finals, the VCO SimGrid Finals, a 3-race multi-class endurance series in November and December. The top 5 from this competition will get themselves an automatic spot in the final. The top 3 in the GT3 car, 4th and 5th in the GT4. 6th, 7th and 8th. 6th, 7th and 8th will get themselves a spot in a GT4 car in a playoff in October. The top 3 teams from the playoff will get a GT4 car in the final as well. Woo! We got there eventually. My apologies. We did get through that one. That was round 3 of race 1, of course. Race 2 soon after. A quick practice session while the finishing results are put in to get the starting grid for race number 2. Got some highlights on the screen there from race number 1. Spa and Imola already in the books. We've got Kyalami, Silverstone, Valencia and the Nürburgring still to come. Promises to be an incredible series so far. After that race there, Thomas Eng Sim Racing. All 5 races so far on the podium. 2 wins, 2 seconds and a third. Incredible drive. BTES Racing as well. Great race from them there. 4th in the championship, 5th in the race. 4th in the race, we'll see them gain positions on Rocket Sim Sport. Malo overtaken in the early stages, Whippet not able to quite get those places back, so their position in 3rd overall is certainly going to be coming under a fair bit of pressure in race number 2. Can't really move that. Oops. Oh, there we go, there's the lock-up racing car just having a bit of a flip on the wall. I'm going to very quickly top up my glass of water. Enjoy the highlights. Back in a moment. Oh, there we go. Good evening. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Some highlights running there from the opening race. And of course, got race number 2 very quickly approaching. Exactly the same format. No qualifying though. As I've mentioned once or twice, we've got the starting grid for race number 2. Is the grid from race number 1, but the top 10 are reversed. Still exactly the same pit stipulations, 10-minute pit window, the driver swap, the tyre change. The drivers are putting in some laps, and our 30 cars have rejoined for race number 2. Love to see it. Oops. Let's have a look at the top of the mountain. So yeah, Mount Panorama for this one. Again, the drivers 1 hours, 3.86 miles of tarmac separating them from those spots in the final. GT3 and GT4 cars, of course, multi-class 3 race endurance series. Closer. And yeah, last week, of course, we saw the podium results repeated from race 1 in race 2. An incredible feat. When you consider the top 10 reverse. I wasn't even sure it would be possible for one team to win both races in the same round, but the top 3 teams decided to put me firmly in my commentary booth and get themselves first, second and third in race 1 and race 2. Will we see the same again this evening? It's yeah, pretty likely, although Bathurst with the overtaking, as we've seen, not the easiest, but it can be done. It can definitely be done. De Campo too fast. Normal Tesla, yeah, we saw that one as well. Big W. I just saw a new name there, I believe. Oh yes, sorry, my apologies. Simone Casiaro in the chat with the GGs as well. From race number 1. The practice will get... will be finished again. The 1 hour race, exactly the same format. 103 points for the race winner, 97 for second, 92 for third, so 6 and then 5 points the splits. We've got the full results and obviously any adjustments for stewards after the race. That'll be fully confirmed, of course, before next week. A couple of teams, Big Brain, didn't see Big Brain racing this evening. They're just outside the top 10. Panda Esports there we saw. They're 10th place. They finished in 10th in this race. They're 10th in the championship. They're going to start race 2 in first position. So they will be firmly chased up the mountain through Hell's Corner. Yellow Submarine Petrol Aficionados 15th overall, just ahead of RNL Roar going into this evening's races, but with that result this evening, I think RNL Roar just sneak ahead of them. FRL's highest entry, of course, the Lamborghini, the arriving drive car, 18th in the championship before tonight started, 16th in the race. In race 1, so some good points they'll bring home from that. How do we think? Give us a shout in chat. How do we think the race 2 is going to end? Do we think it's going to be the De Campo and Richie show once again? And also, do we think we're going to see many changes in lineup as far as which driver does stint 1 and which driver does stint number 2. Let me just mute that because I was able to hear my voice there. That is horrendous. Let them cook again, says Abby. Yep, so the Campo, the chef special has been requested once again. So it looks like back-to-back wins predicted. Second week on the trot, if that was a possibility. Catching up on a few bits and pieces there. In fact, I meant to ask James, that's what I was looking for, James. Sorry, have you got the incident outcome spreadsheet? Do you have one? I'm sure it's this event, you've usually got one. And for all the life of me, I cannot see it. I'm so good with Discord, that's what it is. Well, excellent. So there we go, Benjamin Egg, the FRL Live Drive. Yeah, we'll have a quick jump about the cars, 2.5 minutes, and they'll get started again. There's the SRE rocket car ahead of them. They'll certainly be hoping for a better outing this time around. Of course, it is Bathurst. As a famous Chinese commander said, no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy. And certainly no first lap plan survives lap 1 at Bathurst. You can have an opening couple of laps, putting not a foot wrong yourself, but with no place to go either side. If someone else makes a mistake, you find yourself running out of a lot of space. The TYR sim racing car, they were hoping for a much better race than race number 1, of course. It was them themselves caught the wall on the way up the mountain on lap number 1, which caused a lot of the carnage, or caused all the pileup. And they found themselves with too much damage to finish, so they finished in the pits. And Bjorn Claessens coming out for the yellow submarine car. The unfortunate, the livery still haven't updated. Again, hopefully we get that working for next week, which promises to be an absolute corker the way this series is going. Again, another series, very unlikely it's going to be decided who's winning what places until the last 5 cross the grid, the final race. Sensing the McLaren is in a league of its own here. Simon, your senses are strong, I would suggest. But yeah, in race 1 in qualifying, there was only one non-McLaren in the top 11, an Audi in 10th. So yeah, they were very strong. Didn't quite bring home those numbers in the fin. I think there was only 7 McLarens in the top 10. So during the race, the rest of the cars certainly fighting back a bit, but in qualifying, definitely a massively dominant McLaren showing. And they were doing alright out on the track as well during the race, but not quite. Ooh. As we can see just how easy it is to get it wrong at Bathurst. A few contacts with Wall and Rubia, getting some much needed track time in after that early exit from race 1. So this will be the finish of the practice session. Audi is Bop car here indeed. Yeah, the Audi again did run well. Illinger at the minute within 6/10 in the practice session. Rubia, a few sparks off the wall there. Incredibly lively. So finishes lap. Gedman and Lynn getting a bit of extra track time in as well. In fact, Lynn off in the distance there. Oh yeah, there we go. Right up on the escape road. There we go then, race 2. But vote in the chat. Yeah, the best teams picked the McLaren. It was a no-brainer choice considering its strength over the season. Yeah, and it's certainly proven that way. As we can see, top 10 reversed. It was in fact only 2 non-McLarens that finished in the top 10. In fact, 2 in the top 11. The top 10 being reversed. Remy Loesch will start on the front row ahead of Cesar. These 2 cars battled for the whole of race number 1. We'll continue that for race number 2. Race 1 winner. The Thomas Eng Sim Racing car. They're going to start in 10th place for their efforts. We'll see how that one plays out for them. The rest of the cars, of course, starting. If admins see this, pit wall, please. I thought mine was working. Yeah, it should update. Yeah, it's still got race 1 in there. It should. Oh, new version. That's why mine's installed.
20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely something you hear a lot of, the Audi. Definitely a quick car, but if it tries to kill you, it will inevitably succeed at some point. It is a bit of a handful, to say the least. We've got race number 2, the 10 reversed, of course. Here we go, there's Milodanovic, of course, himself and Rock Cops. Issue with the Audi is the tyre wear. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know the Ferraris were struggling with the 1.9 update, the tyres barely getting 40 minutes. That seems to have corrected itself. It's later in the evening for the start of this one, 5 PM local time, 21 degrees. 21 degrees is the track temperature, so a bit cooler than it was, getting much closer to the preferred optimum tarmac temperature for the drivers. See if that plays any difference in the lap times that we get over the race. Of course, Piperetta taking the fastest lap of the race with Del Fante, but couldn't quite bring home the win. It's mostly as you were from race number 1. Malo, Gornikov, Anufriev, Del Fante and Ritchie all out to start race 2 as they did in race number 1. Machin is out for SR Esports. So a change in line-up there. Benjamin Eck back out again. Jimmy Lynn takes the first stint. Alan Brown taking the first stint. So did Chris Sota. Derek Bruff taking the first stint as well on this one. Ruby and Jack Evans. Thankfully everyone making it out of the pits for the start of this race. Let's see if we can get ourselves through lap 1. The notorious cutting is where all the fun happens. Everyone It's like the chicanes at Monza. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief when they make it through the first chicane at Monza, and then they get to the second chicane and it all goes peak calm. It's much the same here. You get through Hell's Corner and you breathe a sigh of relief. You get through Quarry Bend, an even bigger sigh of relief. But you've still got to get through the cutting and over the parks, and that can certainly be a challenge. We'll see what the drivers can do this time. As I say, Remy Loos leading the way in the Panda Esports Lambo. Illinger starting in 5th. So finishing in 5th then after the penalties were handed out. So that is a good finish for them. And they made up places in the last race clearly. 5 in fact, getting themselves from 10th up to 5th. They do the same here. Certainly be interesting times. We've got Malo, Gornikov, Anufriev, Delfant and Ritchie directly behind them. So it's going to be a fun one for them the first time over the mountain. Again, fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. Of course, 7 rounds and 14 races. This is race number 6. That is round 3, race 2. There is Cesar to steal a little match on the leaders. There's the leader warming up those brakes into the final corner. And in fact, the track temperature already down a degree from the start. So the temperature dropping as the green lights are about to extinguish. Or about to light up, sorry, red lights out, green lights go. Oh, Malo in the background. Instant defensive movements from Milodanovic and Illinger. They've all bunched up very closely in the background. Anufriev, Delfante almost coming together. Jeffrey Ritchie going round at the outside of Delfante. He's got the drop on him right at the start finish. He's got a double slipstream from Anufriev and Gornikov ahead of him. Unwittingly, if somewhat, Malo ahead, looking for an overtake. He's already got himself ahead of Illinger, or has he? Yes, he's going to make this one stick on the inside of Gornikov on that inside line as well. Illinger down another position then, so Illinger down to 7th. Anufriev not in 28th. Oh, bit of a touch with the Audi there, almost. Oh, and again touch on the exit then. Ritchie makes his way past. Delfante could make his way past as well. And in fact, well, here comes Team Ballas looking very quick in the SR Esports Porsche lurking in the background. Remy Loos gets away nice and unscathed, and it looks like the most of the field there as well, though Jack Evans is in the pits. And Chris Gedman is down at the back of the grid. No damage, but he has been overtaken by a few cars there. Alan Brown making it out unscathed right through the field then. Very clean lap one so far. Delfante finds himself still now down in position in 11th, in fact, with Ritchie up into 9th. Anufriev, the driver, separating them as Illinger down to 7th. Gornikov up to 6th. Malo holding on to 5th position, but certainly very close to the Italian job to be in 4th place then, and up ahead side by side with the race leaders as Cesar looks to remove up the inside of Remy Loos. These two cars have been nose to tail for the entire race 1 and at the start of race number 2 there. Cesar looking for the early overtake, wants to be the car leading in this battle clearly, but it is Loos that fends him off to end lap number 1. Oh, has Duby run a bit deep there? I think he's done himself. He has indeed. He's run ever so slightly deep and he's got no momentum out of that last corner. He loses out on positions left, right and centre there. He's already down to 8th position, as we can see. Gornikov looking very quick against Ritchie. These two battling out in race 1, battling out in race 2 again, and it's Gornikov who's got the run. He's going to be round the outside. He's bringing Anufriev with him in that slipstream. Loos and Cesar. Milodanovic, he doesn't quite have the grip to go round the outside, and has put Anufriev back in front of him, or has it, as Gornikov runs back ahead. Doesn't want to push that position there. Delfante in the background finds himself up to 8th position, and to be down to 9th. Yudzetsky up into 10th position for the Team Ballas car, with Machin in 11th and Illinger now down to 12th place, so lost 7 positions on that start. Remy Loesch up at the front, P10 to 5, we cooking. It says blue indeed, and an absolute flyer for Richie at the minute. The start could not have gone much better for him as he heads down the mountain. Only on lap number 2 and up those 5 positions, and up at the front his charge is going to be all that aided by the fact that these two really do know how to respectfully battle one another, but it might not do them much good in the long run with the pack chasing as quickly as they are. Over the rear spoiler we can see Malo, who's now ahead of Milodanovic actually. So while all that was going on as well, Malo has made his way up into 3rd place. He could well be a dark horse. Certainly the SRE Rocket Sport. So, oh, he's trying to go up the inside. That is no, it's not. I was about to say that's inevitably going to cause contact, but Remy Loesch loses the lead of the race. Off the Conrod straight and through the chase chicane. But yes, certainly Malo and the SRE Rocket Simsport team showing some really good pace in race number 1. If they could get a breakaway, could definitely be in contention for a podium. As we can see, the RNL Roar car having a look up the inside. A little bit of contact there, forced the Lambo out onto the grass. But it's David Cesar, RNL Roar, taking the lead, but all that's done is brought Rafael Malo right into the battle, and he's already finding his way around the outside of the Lambo of Remy Loesch then, or has he? The Lambo holding the inside line, he's going off the outside line into the cutting. Can the two of them make their way through the Lambo? Ooh, just a bit of lock up on the brakes here, touches the wall, and it's Malo up to 2nd position. Milodanovic being chased down by Jeffrey Ritchie. Absolute man on fire, team on fire. Of course, with that unbelievable race 1 win. De Campo getting the job done. Ritchie as well holding the car in 3rd, handed over to his teammate who got that race win done. We've got a car in the pits. Yevgeny Nietman for the Rocket team there in the pits early doors. Of course, that won't be during the pit window. All the extra steering input there from Richie, Milodanovic and Malo just ahead. And in fact, Malo is in 2nd, sorry, is ahead of Milodanovic. It just hasn't quite updated yet. Sorry, ahead of there we go, confirmation. He is ahead of Remy Loesch, so Malo in 2nd. 1.5 seconds down on Cesar. We'll see if that's the same when they cross the line. Ben Blaise Masian for the SR Esports team out in the Porsche. 11th place at the minute. Oh, and the Team Ballast McLaren, they're really hanging on to that. Every millimetre of grip from the car then to be having to go full defensive. He's going to be absolutely swarmed by cars here as Team Ballast goes round the outside. SRE in the background in the Porsche. Is it going to be Maching that is the big beneficiary here? The SR Esports car, he's got the inside line. The McLaren's going to go right round the outside. Where does he find that grip? 2 wheels on the grass, holds on to the position then. Yudzinski hanging on to that one as Machin watched that whole thing unfold. Ellinger in the background in 12th, still hanging on beautifully to this battle, and this is going to be fun into Quarry Bend. The McLaren's going to go side by side as the Porsche watches in the background. Duby could have done himself a disservice with that line. They're going to be 3 wide up into the cut, and this of course ends well 100% of the time as the McLaren backs out of it. Duby only makes a bit of contact with the Porsche. That brings Ellinger straight back in on the Porsche, touches wall on exit. Benjamin Eck lurking in the background. Seeing a Lambo putting in a good battle here again as Benjamin Eck finds himself on the back of this 4-way battle. Ellinger just took some avoidant action as the Porsche made a couple of contacts with the wall, and Eck is definitely making contact with 12th position at the minute. Barry Gibbons out for the BG Racing team in 16th position. Jimmy Lynn just ahead of him, and Pisoni of course dropped down the order after a couple of contacts with the wall in race number 1. Let's go back up to Machin though, because he's within half a tenth of a second. Ritchie now finds himself in 7th position. So he's dropped down a couple there. Delfante P5 now. Yes indeed, yeah. We've missed the overtake there. Apologies, I've missed that one as I was having a look down the field. But yeah, you can see there, Jeffrey Ritchie down to 7th position and Del Fante up to 5th place. Big changes in position then. On coming down the hill. All's looking pretty stable. Well, that's Ritchie now. We've got Milodanovic and Anufriev. So yeah, big groups of cars, and that's how to get it done. Gornikov, not quite the car leading that. He's that in the middle. Gornikov. Okay, so there is a car there. Oh, it's Milodanovic. My apologies. Milodanovic is in the running then. Yeah, 8th position. He's in the minute. That took me a second to compute that one there. Ellinger. He is still trying to compute his way past Major. Benjamin Eck applying a whole lot of pressure in these early stages, looking to hang on the back if he can. Senatore looking to make up positions early in the race as well. Nyeatman retiring to the pits for the Simply Race Esports Lamp. Oh no, here he comes. My apologies. He is straight back out of the pits. Okay, so there was a coming together between the cars. Well, yeah, I'm sure if it needs looked at, the stewards will have a look at that. Jack Evans in the pits. Chris Soter in 23rd place at the minute. All over the back of Trizzoldi. They've got Feltham just ahead of them. Ellinger still trying to find his way back inside the top 10. 7 positions down from the start. And Anufriev still going to look, trying to find a way past Ritchie if he can. Ritchie hunting down Gornikov. And they've swapped positions again. Okay, so Ritchie's back up to 5th, Del Fante back down to 7th. Let's just keep an eye on these cars. Because they are swapping positions. Every time we look elsewhere, I think everything is going to be fine for a lap or two. They have swapped positions once again. So Ritchie back up to 5th, Del Fante back into 7th. Anufriev once again in between them. Malo still trying to catch up to David Cesar. Who has not looked back. He's 6/10ths down on that previous lap, but still putting in the laps to lead the race at the minute. RNL Roar out in front in race number 2. It's Malo for Rocket Simsport in 2nd, and Remy Loesch for Panda in 3rd. Then it's a Gornikov for one of the VDES cars in 4th place. Jeffrey Ritchie for the Thomas Eng Championship leaders. Currently in 5th, and is still in 5th right through that replay. And David Cesar's been given a 5-second penalty. Race leader picking up a 5-second penalty, and that might be the least of his troubles at the minute. Falcon Pound says go Dave. Yeah, definitely a bit of ping ponging on quite a few of the walls for some of the drivers. By the minute, Malo is closing in lap on lap, half a second quicker on that previous lap to come into the chase on lap number 6. Well, McLaren ahead really using that curb, and he's managed to hang on to it and hold the gap, but coming into the final corner, no butts at all, not quite close enough this go around. And again, that inside curve. And the last corner of Bathurst, not a corner I would be making contact with. Gornikov and Anufriev, they are side by side on exit. Gornikov coming under all kinds of pressure from Del Fante then. So he was off the racing line there. So let's have a look and see through the final chicane into the last corner. Anufriev leading Gornikov. Just having a look. Oh, a whole lot of movement on the back of the McLaren, so he moved over to defend the inside line into turn number 1. Ritchie watching this one now behind. So they've swapped positions again. How is it possible they can swap positions every time I look away? Yeah, so Ritchie now 7th, Delphant 6th. Gornikov is, oh yeah, so we saw him get that overtake done and then go full defend mode, but Delphant and Ritchie 1st and 2nd in race 1. Yeah, Delphant certainly had it all his own way, and his teammate had it all their own way up the front until De Campo got that overtake done. Not so in race number 2, a solid battle going on between the pack, and I believe that Malo's got the move done on David Cesar as well, and I think he's done it over the top. Oh no, there we go, Quarry Bend. The McLaren of the RNL car has run wide, and Rafael Malo has taken the lead of the race. It's all changed right through the field. Malo then, how much of a gap can he get over Cesar before Delphant and Ritchie, if they can catch up again? Not the easiest to get the overtakes done here. Ellinger's made back 2 places. Oh no, he's not. He's about to lose at least one of them. Massively misjudges these brakes into the final chicane. That seems to be going straight past once again. Let's keep an eye on Ritchie and Delphant. We're going to stay on board here. We can see just how close this battle is then. Remy Loos now very much the cork in the ball. Started in P1. Malo and Cesar both getting their way past the rest of the pack. Very quickly catching up to the Panda powered Lamborghini ahead. The 2 McLarens in the background looking to go side by side as the other 2 McLaren, the 2 white McLarens chasing the 2, being chased by the 2 orange and gold McLarens. Up the hill, pending post race time penalties for number 20 cleared by race control. So we've got a pending penalty has been cleared, so that'll be re-looked at. The driver's exactly 10 minutes until the pit window opens. The track temperature has stayed the same. 21 degrees at the start of the warm-up lap, dropped a degree over the warm-up lap, but it stayed at that 20 degrees, so no massive tyre implications, especially at these temperatures. Look how close they get to the walls on the way down there, as well as with each other. On David Cesar, so that was the pending penalty that was clear, but it has been confirmed. Cesar's car will serve a penalty, and they're less than 5 seconds ahead. So yeah, that's going to put them right into the mix in the pit stop phases as he tries to hang on to the back of Malo, dropping a bit of time over that lap. As you can see, side by side, Anufriev going for the move onto the podium. Is he going to be followed straight through by Gornikov? He is indeed. So too Delphant making his way through. Jeffrey Ritchie looking to make it a quadruple of positions. A quadruple. That is 4 positions. But yeah, the Lamborghini losing out on 3. And that is Benjamin Eck gets a 5-second penalty for causing a contact as well. Jeffrey Ritchie then, the only one not making it past the McLaren, so Remy Loos still got one more driver behind him at the minute. How long can he hold on to that position? Benjamin Eck, if it's not ping pong, then it's not Bathurst. Indeed, the walls, there's absolutely no give in the walls whatsoever. I have made contact with 99% of them at least. Can confirm. The walls win every time. Benjamin Eck. 10-second penalty. We've got another penalty being handed out as well then. Leonardo Pisoni picks up 15 seconds for the Absolute Motorsport car. And got a bit of damage on the car as well. I'm scared to look anyplace else other than the battle up at the front, because they do like to change places frequently up here. Not quite at the moment. It's still Gornikov chasing Anufriev, Delphant and Loos. Still the chasing drivers. Ritchie trying to get his way past Loos as well. Saw the 3 other McLarens he was chasing sail past through the final sector. Didn't quite make it through himself. He'd be hoping to do so, of course, on this lap. As quick as you might be in a race, you don't want to lose more time than is absolutely necessary. And you can see that exit out of Forest Elbow so much better then for Ritchie. Gets the car side by side as they come under the bridge. He's got that outside line and he will be first into the braking zone, into the chase. Oh, and that is Anufriev. off the track and dropping 2 positions. In fact, that's going to be 4 positions drop for Anja Frie then. So let's see what happened here. Heading along the Conrod Straight. And it does look like a Gornikov. Oh no, not quite close enough. Oh, that is clumsy. I'd imagine the stewards will have a nosy at that one. Anja Friev, and that is 4 positions lost for Vasily Anja Friev then. Will be less than impressed as Delfante now finds himself up at the 4th. Jeffrey Ritchie got past Loesch as well, so he is up to 5th and 8/10 of Delfante. Malo now got a 2.5 second gap over Cesar. He's got 3.5 seconds now over Gornikov, but a 5 second penalty hanging over his head. Jimmy Lind trying to get past David Hill, and much better start for the SRE Simply Race Esports BMW, now in 14th position. Definitely full representative of the pace they've got in the team. Pisano with that penalty still closing in on Yudzetsky. The Team Ballast car certainly dropping down the order since the start of the race. Oh, the one in the chase, of course. Yep, sorry, I lost my own train of thought there. But yes, no, that didn't look like the cleanest attempt at an overtake. Or sorry, it didn't. He was trying one on the inside line, and yeah, he was maybe a bit late on his brakes. But we'll let the stewards have a look at that one. But certainly, you would think there's likely to be a bit of a slap on the wrists handed out for that one. Let's see what's happening still up at the front. Malo finding another 2/10 on Cesar in second. Gornikov still in third with Delfante and Ritchie still very much in touch. Ritchie picking up the fastest lap of the race so far. We're already 10 laps and 21 minutes in, less than 5 minutes until the pit window opens. And it's all day, and yeah, 15-second penalty for causing a collision. So a Gornikov, the McLaren there, as we thought, likely to pick up a penalty, and does indeed. 15 seconds to serve in the pits, and it looks like going to be a tough battle hanging on to third before the pit stops. Ritchie and Delfante still giving a solid chase up the front. Malo finding another 10th on Cesar, so Malo definitely doing what he needs to do, get the car as far out ahead, and Gornikov certainly fending off Delfante and Ritchie, playing right into the hands of Malo with the team at the minute. The longer they stay behind the Gornikov, the more time he can escape, with 5 and 15 second penalties behind him as well. That's another 2 cars we won't have to worry about. Pisano, 20 seconds, the penalties finally stopped for the absolute car. Still on board with these 3 though, and we're not moving, although as I say that, Anja Friev and Loesch look like they might be getting pretty close. Oh, and that wasn't the best exit from Delfante from Forest Elbow. Jeffrey Ritchie is going to be very close, if not side by side. Delfante shows him the outside line. Under the bridge, oh, front wheel to back wheel, but it is Delfante who does the run, and it gets back ahead again. Ritchie with a big look up the inside, full send mode. Can he get this done on the brakes? More than enough room left by Delfante. Ritchie not able to make that one stick. Beautiful attempt though, and beautifully defended by Delfante. Saw it coming, held his ground, and kept the car going. That's given it Gornikov more than just a bit of breathing space now. Can he make any impression now on the lead that Cesar's got, as Delfante and Ritchie battle out? Benjamin Eck closing in on Machin still. Illinger in 10th, back up to 10th position, started 5th, dropped to 12th, back up to 10th, and Duby just ahead. Looks like he might be slightly outgunned on the way to Quarry Bend. He's not quite going to be close enough. He is positioning himself for a run at the outside. There is not really any major possibility of getting yourself a cut back through that section. And there is Chris Gedman just being lapped by the race leaders. not the easiest part of the track. Not that there isn't a particularly easy part of the track to get blue flagged. Gedman keeping himself comfortably out the way there as the top drivers make their way through. Malo, 3.1 seconds is that gap now. Cesar, the driver chasing and being chased by Gornikov, 1.9 seconds down to Fant, and Ritchie still in one another's pockets. Ellinger over the top of the mountain, definitely looking quicker than Duby. Can he get this one done on the exit of Forest Elbow? Needs to be very good on the brakes and very good on the accelerator. Can he get the slipstream he needs then to get past Yudzinski? Now in 16th position for Team Ballas, 4 tenths behind Gibbons. As we see some dust kicking up, so there's more blue flags waving as the drivers ahead, but very close still indeed. That's not Rafael Malo, is it? No, let's just watch what happens with Ellinger and Duby, and that is Remy Loesch and Misha Milodanovic who are going side by side. And Yefreev involved in this battle as well then. Of course the car on the receiving end of the contact, now down in 8th position. We're looking to make a big improvement on that. The Remy Loesch Lamborghini of course started in 1st position. Now, oh, that was a big look up the inside. Was there contact there? Wow, they managed to avoid the contact. Let's have another quick look at that. And Yefreev, big look up the inside. So there was a slight bit of contact there, actually, in the middle phase of the corner. But they managed to fend that one off. Oh, now Yefreev again looking very close in the background. Ellinger looking ever closer as well. Now that Dubai is the driver that's ahead of him. And let's see it, Gornikov has closed in on Cesar, no less than a second separating them. Delfan's got a second separating himself from Ritchie, and Yefreev's only got 2 tenths separating him from Loesch at the moment. Yefreev looking to get himself back into the top 5 if possible. It is so close between these drivers up at the top. Yudzinski in the pits, so yeah, the Team Ballas car I did think was struggling for pace, and that's them in the pits as soon as the pit window opens. So maybe a bit of damage, and they can definitely do with getting that repaired. You do not want to spend too much time out at Bathurst with damage. It's a hard enough track when your car is in factory mint condition. SRE Rocket Sim Sport, they've been rocketing out at the front since they took the lead. Malo with a great stint so far, 4.2 seconds to the good. Gornikov in 3rd place with a penalty, but closing in on Cesar in 2nd. Delfante and Ritchie separating out ever so slightly, but we did see when these two drivers swapped drivers in race 1, we saw just how quick Matteo De Campo was compared to Delfante's teammate. So could well be relying on that in race number 2. Certainly a brave strategy though. 4K Games in the chat. What's good? The racing around Bathurst as always. Gibbons comes in the pits, in fact, as Pisano makes up that position, and Yefreev. Don't get my F1. DRS exists in F1. Yeah, I think they can close. I'm thinking with the changes to the aerodynamics on F1's cars, they should be able to follow a lot more closely. So I don't think they'll ever get rid of DRS, but I don't think it's quite as necessary as it used to be. Although it does make a lot more fun with a lot more overtaking. That is for sure. But yeah, I think with the new aerodynamics, yeah, they've reduced the amount of distance the dirty air can come off the back of an F1 car. I'm sure there's loads of F1 fans, and in fact there is, because of course FRL, if you don't know, they've got a YouTube channel. They do F1, they do ACC on PS5 and PlayStation and PC, sorry, PS5. Yeah, PlayStation 5 and PC, and do F1 as well. So I'm sure some of the guys and gals that know we'll have a better idea on that one. But certainly give FRL a follow on YouTube as well. Give them a quick subscribe. You can keep up to date with all of the races and all the back catalogue as well. I would share the link, but it just comes up as extra. So yeah, we'll get the YouTube link shared. I'm sure it pops up and get into the Discord as well. As we're still watching this battle then, and it is David Cesar who has been overtaken then. Well, I was reading the chat once again. We've missed a pivotal overtake, and Cesar now under pressure, in fact, from Delfante. As we see Illinger, Andrew Friev and Remy Loesch all coming into the pits. There is Cesar, so he is behind then Gornikov. Didn't waste any time closing in. Delfant closing in as well. Been racing with FRL for the last couple of seasons in Pro-Am this year. Can't recommend him enough, says Simon Turner. Love to hear it. And yeah, I would 100% agree. They're yeah, phenomenal. James and the gang do a great job behind the scenes, putting on some incredible events. They've got some questionable taste in Scottish commentators, but I certainly won't complain at that one. I love getting involved in the races that they've got. As you can see, these guys and girls all getting involved in that race. Nico Veldman out, the pit stops coming thick and fast. Remy Loesch handing over the wheel to Doc Richard nice and early. Malo then still leading the Gornikov, 5.2 seconds down the road. Richie now finds himself separated from Delfant once again, and it is David Cesar who's standing in his way. And in fact, he's just about to try and go side by side, and I think he's got the overtake done. Beautiful move once again. Out with that forest elbow, you can really see the difference in pace from a lot of these cars. You can see just as they get to the right hander, that shouldn't have done that. Sails it right round that outside line absolutely beautifully as they come into the pits then. So Gornikov, Richie and Cesar all into the pits. Delfant and Malo have both stayed out, so we'll see what type of difference it's saying. 6.2 seconds is the gap there. The pit entry, indeed, a double chicane. I mean, if you're going to make a racetrack that goes up and down a mountain 174 metres of elevation and put walls the entire way, then yeah, why not put a double chicane in the pit entrance as well? Yeah, fun times. Delfante over the mountain. Pizzoni in the pits, he's got 20 seconds to serve, and Rubio still very much in the running. Jack Evans no longer with us. Evgeny Yateman for Simply Race Esports bringing up the rear at the minute. I think they were in for damage at the start, certainly an early pit stop. Neil Woodward ahead of them with Chris Gedman. Carrying some damage there in that Mercedes, and that must be reasonably recent. I think he's going to come straight into the pits. Polovchuk for the Team Ballast team. David Cesar, what a race. RNL Roraford, race 1 got a good finish, race 2 got a good finish. Tim Schaefer though has been gifted a drive through penalty. He's also got Milodanovic and Matteo De Campo is ahead of him comfortably. That's not Delfante. But yeah, Tim Schaefer then, drive-through penalty. It is only 47% of your lap lost because of the length of the pit lane and the length of the lap. But from podium contention to an extra trip into the pits, RNL Roar, race number 2, not going the way race number 1 did. Giovanni Pipo out for the Italian job, up in 7th. Of course, they've had 3 race wins up until this evening. No podium in race number 1. Looking like a top 10 for this one. Ben Crook out for the PLR Esports team. Dave Goodway, the driver, chasing him down. He's got Playster just ahead of him. And they've also got the race leader making his way through. Sorry, not the race leader. There's Rafael Malo there. Eric Delfant in second position at the minute. De Campo out in the car with the fastest lap time at the moment. 2 minutes left of the pit window, so we're going to see the cars coming in on this lap. You do not want to breach the driver stint timer or the pit window. A fairly colossal penalty will be thy gift. That's not what you need. 5.4 seconds is the gap then, so Delfant has closed in since getting up to second place. Mason and Hill. Zupancic coming out, Jason Pooley coming out for stint number 2. There is Schaefer coming in to serve his pit stop. There's James Williams in the pits. Polovchik will get past there as Woodward, I think, will catch up to Stamenkovic. For the Simply Race Esports car, still bringing up the rear. Got a long way, well, 26 minutes to go, so not exactly a long way to go, my apologies. It's Polovchuk looks to put another lap up. The Lambo and the McLaren both looking a bit indecisive on the brakes there. I think not the cars looking indecisive, not the drivers. Just to make that one clear. Konstantin Soldatov then back out after that penalty, 15th position. Chris Jones is the driver behind him. There is the FRL car coming back out. James Williams back behind the wheel. Pusemko up ahead, looking to get an overtake done on Ben Crook. Oh no, Pusemko did get the overtake done and has just been blue flagged there. That's why he was very close. And there is Malo coming into the pits then. So the race leaders come in, closely followed by Delfante. And here comes De Campo through the final chicane. The pit window is now closed. Malo is moving, so is Delfante. Here comes De Campo. So De Campo is going to be in third position. Oh, he's going to be in second. He's going to be side by side. He's going to be round the outside. Oh no, he's not. Sorry, that's a different Lamborghini, different McLaren. Pipo is behind, so Delfante has it's Piperetta, sorry, that's come back out, and he's got that's Yevgeny Nietman, of course, that's behind him. Another car I'm used to seeing up at the top end of the grid, but yeah, Nietman down at the back of the grid. So Malo has handed over to Luciano Whitfit in the lead of the race. Delfante is handed over to Piperetta for second, and Ritchie is handed over to De Campo for third. Deja vu. We've got Giovanni Pipo in the Italian job car. 3 race wins they've had so far this series. They've also had a 14th and finished well outside the top 10 in race number 1. This will certainly help reignite their championship charge. Second going into tonight's race. They could well be second still with a good result here. Oh no, in fact, my apologies. Oh yeah, no, they might be actually. VDS and Team Ballas a bit down. Simply Race Esports as well, yeah, so they could well hang on to second going into the next week. Of course it is. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh yeah, no, sorry. So he's still close to Nietman, just getting himself a bit of slipstream there. Is Piperetta. It is Kailami next week. So make sure you get tuned in for that one. An absolutely incredible course for overtaking, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of it. Tim Schaefer, the RNL road car, back out the pits after the drive-through, find themselves in 12th and all over the back of Jason Pooley in the SRE Simply Race Esports car, the BMW. Oh, he's on this. He's got the good exit then, but not a lot of time in the slipstream, so it is going to be a straight drag race between the McLaren and the BMW, and the BMW is going to win it on this occasion by the look of it into the braking zone. Is he going to send it up the inside? He is indeed. Jason Pooley saw that one coming, moved himself quickly out the way. Tim Schaefer back up to 11th position then, can he get himself back into the top 10? after that drive through. Rakhmatov still trying to get his way past Giovanni, or sorry, just trying to get his way past Giovanni. People, the two have come pretty close together, and Matteo De Campo is on the expected charge, less than a second behind Piperetta at the moment. Luciano Whitford 4.3 seconds up the road, so he is losing a bit of time to these drivers. Pasenko back in the pits, hopefully no damage, as Veldman, let's see, Rakhmatov, trying to close in on people. Let's just keep an eye on De Campo though. We'll keep an eye on that time in Delta as well. Another De Campo Piperetta fight indeed. Pitwall, I believe, I'm having, for some reason, mice keeps wanting to update every time I open it. But yeah, for some reason, yeah, Pitwall isn't active on this race. It's still showing the previous race. Oh, Rakhmatov. Oh, and people almost losing the back of the car there as go side by side through the chase chicane. Rakhmatov didn't even flinch. Gets himself up to 4th position. Him and the team, of course. De Campo and Piperetta. Let's look and just see how close these two are once again. Thomas Eng looking to make it another race win and really put both hands firmly on that top spot in the championship. I know it's not even halfway through the series, but another race win here would really go them a long way to bringing home this championship. This would be 3 race wins from 6 races. We've still got a long way to go in the race. We've still got Piperetta and Whitford ahead, but no disrespect to either of those two drivers. De Campo in race number 1 did show the type of pace that he's got, and it is definitely just that bit quicker than these two drivers. Can he get it done in 19 minutes? He did in race number 1. Can he get it done in race number 2? Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. I can't take us off. Balwender and Zupancic are having a battle for 7th as well. Veldman still trying to chase down Kops, the Fun Sim Racing team, up to 6th position. So a good race 2 for them again. De Campo not even using the slipstream to its fullest, although it doesn't look like he needed it. Is he going to go for this one up the inside into the chase chicane? They're side by side, and he's got that done. Absolutely beautiful move then. As we can see, coming along the Conrod Straight, that's them out of Forest Elbow, and he pops out the slipstream very early, but he had a lot of time and a lot more speed. Positions himself up the inside again. Could have got a lot more slipstream there, but clearly it didn't need it. Moves over to the side, moves back over again, gets himself up that inside. Not much of a battle there from Piperetta. I think he knew he was beaten for pace. Better to continue on with your own race. If the driver behind is that bit quicker, then just let them go and concentrate on bringing home that podium. Piperetta for ITJ setups, now with an 11-second lead over Rakhmatov. He's got Campo to follow in his slipstream as well if he can. Of course, I've got Luciano Whitford still for the SRE Rocket Sim Sport team, 3.8 seconds up the road. It was a bit quicker. Mattea's good chance of taking back-to-back victory, I would say so. Martin Klassen in the chat, good evening, how are we doing? But yeah, certainly it would be a hard push to find anybody who's going to bet against De Campo bringing home back-to-back victories. The only thing that really stands between him and that, Whitford of course, and the Mountain. Whitford looking very quick, he's about to go sub 2 minutes if he brings this one home. 17 minutes to hold on to if he can. We've got 25 cars still out on track. Stamenkovic, the Simply Race Esports in 25th. It's Ian Thompson for the Carcosa Design Mercedes in 24th. James Williams out for FRL in 23rd, with Neil Woodward, another FRL car, 22nd position. Absolute Motorsport, a couple of contacts with the walls and penalties over the two races. See them 21st in race 1. Dave Goodway back in the pits. Oh, the Lambo carrying damage. The FRL arrive and drive Lambo tumbling down the order. Again, the mountain does not allow you to relax for even a millisecond. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on these drivers up at the front. They've just gone past the Team Ballast car. Again, another car that's found the mountain to be the cruelest of mistresses. Definitely out of position, given the pace that they've got as a team. Piperetta still trying to hang on to the back of De Campo. The gap up at the front has dropped by a few tenths of a second. De Campo in that last lap, in fact, 6 tenths quicker than Whitfit, and the gap down to 2.9. Very similar position to race number 1. 16 minutes left to go, and De Campo finds himself with 3 seconds to make up to the leader, and he is lapping about half a second a lap quicker. Things certainly looking in his favour. Again, just needs to survive the mountain for another few laps, and then find his way past, of course, Mattia De Campo. Oops, and that has frozen. Yeah, there we go. Quick restart on the works. It's always good fun using the remote tool. In race number 2, Michael Firth out for BG. Then he's taken over up in 14th place. So again, a better race 2 for the BG car. Pasemko putting under the Absolute Motorsport car, and Dave Goodway in the FRL car. Definitely can see these two battling inside at least the top 15. But eventful races for both cars. See them battling now for 20th position. With a pace in the field, 1 minute 58.8. The qualifying time, of course, from race number 1. Two cars at 1 minute 58.8, separated by 0.08 of a second. Pit wall has been fixed. Excellent. Mattia using way more track, so impressive. Mattia cut 7 tenths in the last lap. He is indeed, he is catching hand over fist at the minute. He is very, very, very quick. He's got a 1.1 second gap already over Piperetta. Then Veldman with a second to make up to Kops. Pasemko still pressuring Goodway. There's a big enough gap there, so let's have a look down and see how this battle is going to play out. And as I was saying, that is Michael Firth they're looking to unlap themselves against. The BG car is a lap up on them. Again, you wouldn't expect to find that normally Pasemko and Goodway, especially his teammate Benjamin Eck, quite this far down the order. So they are looking to battle for position while unlapping themselves as well around the mountain. Excellent stuff. That would need some serious precision to driving from all involved. De Campo, absolutely precision driving has been pointed out. He really does use so much of the track when he's getting the job done. So let's stay on board with them for a few laps. 1.9 seconds is now the gap, so finding time every single sector. 18-degree track temperature as well, that'll certainly be helping with those lap times, I'm sure. 1 minute 59.4, the fastest lap in the race, and De Campo's previous 2 laps were both 1 minute 59.6. So his last 2 laps, both 1 minute 59.6, which is within 2 tenths of the fastest lap of the race. That is what you call consistency, and that's the type of consistency that'll win you a lot of races. And yeah, Thomas Eng Racing certainly proven to be a force to be reckoned with in this championship. Pasemko still trying to get his way past Goodway. Going to keep watching this masterclass that is De Campo up at the front. That 1.7 second gap is getting ever smaller. And Whitfit, his quickest lap in the race so far, 1 minute 59.7. So incredibly quick. Come on, Matthias, says Vavota. This is going to be intense, says Matty Bots. Yes, it is. The gap is reducing. As I say, it's sector on sector. Definitely seeing the gap reduce. De Campo is closing in. Another race win here. Going to be interesting with the back marker. Should be okay. That is James Williams. So yeah, be absolutely 100% fine when they catch up to him. He is more than capable. Yep, he'll definitely get himself out of the way as quickly as possible. 10 minutes to go. They might catch up. Piperetta then still in the background as well, only 1.4 seconds down, and in fact is lapping quicker than Whitfit as well. Wow. So Whitfit really got 1.3 seconds now is the gap. It does seem somewhat inevitable. We've got Goodway still fending off Pasemko, Woodward, Williams, Thompson and Stamenkovic still bringing up the rear of the field. Balawander looking very quick there in 8th place as well, with Nico Veldman trying to fend him off. Veldman no slouch behind the wheel either, but can make an impression on Rock Copps' gap in 6th place. Big 5 seconds between Copps and Pipo at the moment. Piperetto losing time to De Campo, but not quite as much time as Whitfit is losing to De Campo. We're under the 10-minute mark. We've got 24 laps fully completed. TES Power says Lord Craigslist. Craigslist? Sounded more like Craigslist there. We're coming down the mountain. Yep, so James Williams, yeah, they will catch up. And it'll be a very quick overtake along this bottom straight. There they go. Indicators used. Let the two through. And back on with the drive in, and I think Piperetta's going to get a nice bit of slipstream here as well from Williams. Indeed he is. So he's going to catch up there as well. Williams indicates again, stays over to the left hand side. Piperetta sails on through. De Campo sails right onto the rear spoiler of Whitfit then. Another absolute otherworldly exit from Forest Elbow, and it sees De Campo all over the back of Whitfit. Plenty time left in the race to get his overtake picked out. I think Whitfit probably best to let De Campo through as quickly as possible, so you can concentrate on fending off Piperella. But then saying that, Whitfit does have track position, so why not try and defend? It is Bathurst. All you need to do. Guys, it looked to be 1 minute and De Campo is on the back of P1. Matea, my goat, he has been very quick. That last lap there, 159.9. Which is only a tenth quicker than Piperetta as well, actually. So Piperetta, since being overtaken by De Campo, really hasn't been that far off it. Oh, and Whitfit almost losing the back of the McLaren through the cutting there. Manages to gather it up and keep it out of the wall. No contact, no damage. But Matteo De Campo really is pressing the issue now. Veldman has been overtaken by Balawander as well. Balawander getting ahead of the fast forward racing driver. We're going to keep watching this. It looked like they were side by side there, but they are not. Whitfit still holding his ground. De Campo still holding on to that rear spoiler. And Piperetta found 2 tenths on these two over this over that final sector there. This is the final sector. Over the last sector they just drove through. But De Campo Is this the lap he gets it done? Along that start-finish, not the start-finish straight, along the Conrod straight and into the chase. We've got 2.5 tenths separating these two. Is he close enough to have a look into the final chicane? If he is, he's going to have to go the long way round. Whitbit takes the normal line. De Campo instantly latches on the back. That is how much quicker through the chicane he is. He's got the outside line opened up. Whitbit, is he going to make this one round the outside of the last corner? He is not. Whitbit holds his ground again, holds that defensive inside line. Absolute beautiful driving from the both of them. Someone I'm sure Piperetta is more than keen to watch as he's now right on the back of him. Oh, has he got the cutback on the exit to Hell's Corner? Whitbit a bit sluggish on the exit through the curves there, couldn't quite get the power down, and here comes De Campo then. Is he going to be close enough to get it done on the way into Quarry Bend? Is Piperetta going to find himself with a free position or two here with the two battling ahead? Is Whitbit that's got his nose in front in the braking zone? Is Piperetta that's almost got his nose in the back of De Campo there in the braking zone, but they've managed to avoid contact. The top three separated by 0.6 of a second after 26 laps of racing and only 6 minutes left to go. Incredible stuff. Mega exit, it says Mate Box. Exactly, absolute Matty Box. Absolutely cannot fault De Campo's exit. He really is putting a hurting on the drivers ahead of him with those corners exit. But if he can't get his way past Whitbit, can Piperetta gazump the both of them? I say it all the time, it's often the third driver in the equation that is best positioned to get an overtake. If the two ahead go side by side, effectively gives Piperetta his choice of who to follow through and where to put the car. You can see the Forest Elbow exit once again. De Campo absolutely flying on that exit. He's got Whitbit's rear spoiler firmly in his sights, and he's given Piperetta a bit of a runaway there as well, so he's stretched that gap, not giving away the slipstream. He's pulled out early again. He's looking for that inside line. Oh, and he's Whitbit is happy to show him the outside line. He's going off the inside through the chicane. He's going around the outside as he made this one stick. Absolutely stunning move once again by De Campo. Where does he find that grip? Absolutely incredible, but he's found it, and he's got himself into the lead of the race, and he's brought with him Piperetta, who's now looking for second place. So Whitbit has gone from defending from De Campo. He's now got Piperetta there. The podium position's nowhere near decided. Still only 0.6 of a second separating the top three with only 4 minutes left to go. De Campo getting another worldly of an exit, but Whitbit certainly in the hunt in the slipstream this time, so he's not going to be left behind before they get to the mountain. Look how close they are. Half a second separating the top three. We've got 4 minutes left to go. Santo trying to find his way past Brooke Goodway. Has been overtaken by Pasemko. Then Pasemko up to 20th. Goodway down to 21st, still ahead of his teammates Woodward and Williams though. But it's going to be this battle for the podium positions. De Campo getting it done again. Both races, 16 minutes to go. He had 3 seconds to catch up to the race leaders. Both races he has got it done. Back-to-back victories on the same night. We saw it last week and we're seeing it again this week. Thomas Eng Sim Racing really are stamping their authority on this competition. They're going to have themselves what could be considered a very decent lead going into round number 4, which will see races number 7 and 8. This guy's the king of the mountain, undisputed. Needs bottom on him. He is very good around the mountain. Very good around the mountain, and you can see there the gap that he's extended then at 6'10". He's almost shaking off that slipstream. Whitbit is going to be fully concentrating on fending off Piperetta at the moment. Less than 3 minutes to go, and De Campo, what a drive yet again. 2 absolute solid 30-minute stints over the 2 races. Pasemko back behind Goodway. So 2 of them trading positions, and Konstantin Soldatov trying to get... Oh, he's got past Jason Pooley. And he's made his way past Jason Pooley there. So yeah, Soldatov trying to get the move done. on the BMW through Reed Park and down into the S's. So Datov looking just a little bit quicker there. Really using those curves for the eggs as well. What a run he got down there. Side by side down towards Forest Elbow. Yeah, Pooley deciding better than go side by side into Forest Elbow. Moves over ever so slightly. Let's get back up to the front then with Piperetta. Now the driver looking to take a podium position from Luciano Whitfit. He's in second place at the moment. He's leading the way. De Campo, the gap has extended on the podium. It's gone from 6/10 to 8/10 of a second. So they've given themselves an extra 2/10 of a second to separate themselves. Obviously slightly safer that way. But yeah, still completely inseparable. We're down, still sitting at 18-degree track temperature. 6 o'clock in game, a minute and a half left. So we've got one lap to go after this one. We'll see if we can even catch the winner crossing the line. It was too busy looking down the order. Some of the battles want to close out race number one, completely missed it. De Campo definitely didn't know. Thomas Eng Racing, absolutely flawless performance from the team this evening. And it's going to be a very good race win if they can bring this one home. Yeah, just need to survive the mountain. Easier said than done, as I'm sure a whole lot of people will agree. Not many people will disagree with that, to be fair. And that is confirmation. The leader is on the final lap. Can ITJ Setups car get the position from Whitfit in the SRE Rocket Sim Sport team? The exit Hills corner and head towards Quarry Bend. You can see De Campo. Those corner exits I was mentioning. 1 second of a lead. He did a 59.9 on that last lap there. Not many cars have been under the 2 minute mark. Well, a couple of cars have been under the 2 minute mark actually. But not as consistently as De Campo has. Piperetta still in third place. Does he look for the overtake? If he is, he's going to try and line this one up for the Conrod Straight. It would be suicide to try and overtake on the final lap when you're on the podium over the top of the mountain of Bathurst. You would have to be a special kind of cutthroat competitor. Ben Crook and Michael Firth are going to go side by side along the Conrod Straight. They've still got another lap to go, but Crook getting that move done. That's put PLR Esports back up to 14th position. Solid overtake there. Pasemko and Goodway still as they were. Ballawander and Veldman swapping positions once again. Piperetta and Whitfit. This is the important one for Whitfit. Can he fend off Piperetta on the final straightaway? And it looks like he's got the Forest Elbow exit he needed. Piperetta is going to just about be on the edge of the slipstream. In fact, it's more than likely on the edge of the dirty air at that distance. So it looks like Whitfit for SRE Rocket Sim Sport is going to hang on to that second position into the braking zone. Yeah, still running very good. Piperetta not quite able to close up. So, but it is Matteo De Campo back-to-back races, 2 weeks on the trot. We've seen the same team take the race win in both races. I asked last week if it was possible to see that happen. We're seeing it back-to-back. Rock Cops picking up a penalty, but it is Thomas Eng Sim Racing with the win. Luciano Whitfit for the SRE Rocket Sim Sport team finishing in second place. Solid podium there. And Sergio Piperetta for ITJ Setups, another podium, and this time third position. Timur Rakhmetov for the VDES junior car in fourth, with Giovanni Pippo in fourth position for the Italian job. Definitely going to be one to watch for top 3 honours come the end of the series. Rock Cops in 6th, but that is pending the 10 seconds, with Veldman in 7th. Ballawander in 8th for the Petrol Aficionados, and Zupanchik crossed the line in 10th, with Doc Richard, the Panda Esports car, started, of course, in first place and finished in 2nd. No cars running still. But what an incredible race, some serious pace up at the front. 1 minute 58.8, of course, the qualifying time, and didn't slow down much over the race. As you can see, the competitor still fighting home. Schaefer for the RNL car in 11th, Soldato for VDES in 12th, Pooley in 13th, Crookfirth, Santo, Jones, Pleister, and there is Goodway giving the flag in 19th position. James Williams bringing it home in 22nd place, bringing up the rear of the field. But it is again Mattia De Campo for Thomas Eng Sim Racing. Back-to-back race wins, absolutely incredible racing over both races from the team, and that is going to do their standings in the championship the absolute world of good. Someone revving their engine, let me just mute that. There we go, excellent. If I do that. Haha, there we go. Yeah, so congratulations once again to Thomas Eng. A phenomenal race, phenomenal pace, and a phenomenal lead in the championship, given the strength of field that we've seen and how close it is in qualifying and the races. That is 3 wins from 6. Now matched with the Italian job, who have also won 3 races, but the Italian job with that 14th position, of course, see themselves slightly further down the order. But after that 4th in the second race, they're going to be right back in the hunt for it as well next week. So, yeah, it is still all to play for the other 4 positions, but certainly at the minute, Thomas Eng Sim Racing giving themselves every single opportunity to bring home the race win. So we'll see how they do next time out. And of course, next time out it is Kyalami. An absolute wonder of a track, some phenomenal overtaking in action we are guaranteed to see there. So make sure you give the FRL Twitch channel a follow. Remember as well, they've got YouTube. If you want to watch back, all the races are catalogued on YouTube, so make sure you go back and watch. There's even highlight reels as well from PlayStation 5 ACC and of course PC ACC. So make sure you jump on and give them a free subscribe on there as well, and keep up to date with everything that they've got going on there. That is all we've got time for this evening, though. Indeed, very nice race too, says Martin Classy. Luca Gagliardini, what a race, and what pace as well. Mega race, says Matty Box. As well, you can see the Lambo coming a cropper, unfortunately. I'll leave you with the highlights, which are stuttering and freezing ever so slightly. I think my processor might be slightly cooking with all the action that we've just witnessed. My apologies, it's been broadcasted in 2K as well, so hopefully that hasn't diminished anyone's viewing. So that's done. But yeah, my apologies again. That's all we've got time for this week. Congratulations once again to the podium, Thomas Eng. Take a bow. What a team effort. 2 race wins. We'll be back for much more of the same time, same place next week. Until then, my name has been John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your evening. Good night.